They've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Just last summer, the Knicks signed head coach Tom Thibodeau to a 3-year contract extension until 2028. Today, he was fired. The Knicks won 4 playoff series during Thibodeau's 5 seasons as coach. In the 20 years before that, they won 1 playoff series. ESPN's Shams Charania says the Knicks may go for a change in coaching style.
Clearly, the way Tom Thibodeau coached, I mean, for better or for worse, he was very, I won't even say stuck in his way, but he had a way that he was going to operate. That's what it was going to be. He was not going to change, and for better or for worse. Now, it leads to a lot of success. All these guys have career years.
Shams Charania on the Pat McAfee Show. Diamondbacks ace Corbin Burns goes on the injured list with right elbow inflammation. He had to leave Sunday's start in the 5th inning against the Nationals. Florida Panthers head coach Paul Maurice trying to bring a Stanley Cup tradition back to its roots. Maurice believes only the players should go through handshake lines at the end of each playoff series.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Shea Dixon on a big recruiting weekend. Could Leonard Fournette be headed to the New Orleans Saints? We've got FPI predictions for LSU football in 2025, but you know where we are beginning today.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Nobody on. 10-6 LSU lead. Bottom of the 9th. 2 outs. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Tigers win. Tigers win. We'll see you later in the week for Super Regional play.
Chris Blair on the LSU Sports Radio Network. How it sounded when Anthony Ianson had a perfect 9th strikeout, ground-out strikeout to end it. And LSU rallies from down 5-1, the brink of what would have been the most embarrassing loss in the history of this program. If a 4 seed and the lowest RPI team in the field came into the box out of the losers bracket to beat you twice as the number 1 team in the country, the number 6 national seed, yeah, that had been really bad. And thankfully, by and large, the efforts of 3 players brought LSU through. And that's where I'm going to start. Look, we're going to talk a ton of baseball throughout the show today. We're going to talk about an early look at West Virginia. We're going to go through this game and some of the decisions that Jay Johnson made, some that worked and some that didn't. We're going to get to all of that in this game, in this show today. But I'm going to start appropriately with 3 players that deserve their flowers Because the reality is, at a program like LSU, when you've made 19 trips to Omaha, you've won 7 national championships, you don't count successes based on regular season wins, regular season championships, anything to do with the regular season. Everything associated with this program has to do with what you do in the postseason. We remember Warren Morris because he hit the most famous home run in the history of college baseball. Not many people remember what Warren Morris did throughout any of his seasons in Baton Rouge outside of that play. He's a very good player, by the way, became a big leaguer. But you are remembered for what you do in the postseason. Brad Cressy was an awesome LSU Tiger. We remember, by and large, one swing because it was the most important swing of his career. Devin Fontenot was a very good pitcher at LSU. We remember what he did heroically in a super regional against Florida State. Unfortunately, he ended in a loss, but his career was defined by that. Will Helmers, what he did last year at North Carolina, even in a loss, that will define his career. And playing third base for a day. But anyway, or an inning. The point is, you make your legacy in the postseason, and 3 guys took a giant step toward that. Let's start with Ethan Fry, because when LSU looked dead in the water, down 5-1 in the top of the 4th inning, Jared Jones gets a single, big weight off of his shoulder to lead off the inning. The crowd very appropriately applauded. It was a rousing cheer for Jared Jones. And you follow that up with a fielder's choice and a fly out. Ashton Larson walks, draw another walk to load the bases, and here comes Ethan Fry. Curiel walked. Here comes Ethan Fry with the bases loaded, and he rips a 2-out double into the gap to clear the bases. It's 5-4, and all of a sudden you have life. Because at 5-1, you felt dead in the water. And that hit, that double, was just a part of a 4-for-4 night where Ethan Fry reached base all 6 times. When you had to have it, win or go home, when you look dead in the water, that dude showed up in a monster way. And here was Ethan Fry after the game on that bases clearing double.
Coach Johnson talks a lot about controlling your situation, not letting the moment get too big. So when you're actually able to do it, shows how much trust he has in you and just your ability to compete and play no matter what the situation is. And like Kaysen just said, we have the best fan base in the country. And playing every game at home is really an advantage, whether people want to admit it or not. But it's unbelievable.
It wasn't just Ethan Fry. It was also Luis Hernandez. This is how it sounded in the 5th inning, in the top of the 6th. LSU trailing by a run. And remember how that inning started. Stanfield was at the plate with a 3-0 count, and they come back to get the strikeout. You went from thinking you're about to get a leadoff walk to strikeout. Here comes Luis Hernandez.
The 0-1. High in the air, going back is Wilbanks. He's still going back to the track, to the wall. It's gone. We are tied. Luis Hernandez, home run number 8. 5-5 our score. Hey now.
He didn't just tie it in the 6th. He had another homer in the 8th to give you the 7-5 cushion. A senior player, a veteran player, an experienced player. The moment was not too big for him. The catching position was a gigantic question mark at the beginning of this season. We forget about that, but in the first month, that was a big deal. Hernandez and Aaron Beatty platooning. Hernandez steadied you behind the plate, and once he became an everyday player, the bat has come along. He was awesome. Here was Jay Johnson on Fry and Hernandez.
The offensive performance by Ethan, that's arguably the best game I've ever seen any one of my players play, considering the situation. Luis, clutch. Absolutely clutch. Sometimes you look a player in the eye in the on-deck circle and you go, this is about to be good. And special night tonight. Great toughness, catching 4 games in a row. Really proud of him for that and maintaining, massive offensive production.
And then there's Kaysen Evans. We all look at Kaysen Evans, and the ability is undeniable. If we go back to the very first game of this season against Purdue-Fort Wayne, when they played it on a Friday afternoon, the first guy out of the bullpen this year was Kaysen Evans. The very first guy out of the bullpen. And he is not disappointed. He has been at his best as a reliever this year. But Jay Johnson has made no qualms. Kaysen Evans' future at LSU is as a starting pitcher. And he probably has the inside track to be your Friday night guy next year. Now, there's a long way to go before then. Who you can add in the portal? Does William Schmidt develop in the same way Cade Anderson did this year? There's a lot of what-ifs between now and then. But they gave him the ball 3 times when they were looking for a number 3 starter, and he was awesome against Tennessee. In the next 2 outings against Arkansas and A&M, he faltered. He didn't get through 4 innings in either of those. But on a night where Zach Cowan took the ball and didn't have his best stuff, Casey Evans came out of the bullpen, and you were down 3-1. You had the E4, the throw-in error on Dickinson, and then the single where the outfield, where Dickinson and Stanfield collided. Oh my God! Like that felt rock bottom, and it was 5-0 or 5-1. And what did Casey Evans do? He threw up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive zeros. He struck out 12. At one point, struck out 9 consecutive hitters. I saw the great Todd Politz on Twitter earlier today asking for help and context to see if anybody can remember any string better than that, because he's trying to find if that is actually a program postseason record, 9 consecutive strikeouts for Casey Evans, when you had to have somebody come out and put a freaking choke. Take Little Rock and grab them by the throat and squeeze the hell out of them and say, this is over. It's done. No more of this. And Casey Evans got out his wheelbarrow and let him drag the ground. It was unbelievable to watch that, as fired up as he was. And it showed you, oh, this is what it looks like when you're LSU and you're flat better than them. No disrespect to Little Rock. They played a hell of a weekend. They're a great story, and I think they're easy to cheer for, except when they're playing LSU. But you needed somebody to say, enough. Casey Evans took the ball, season high in pitches, got you into the 8th inning where Ianson took over and finished the thing off. Casey Evans was spectacular. Jay Johnson after the game.
This dude is a superstar, and you guys have been around a lot longer than I have, but there haven't been very many better performances on that pitcher's mound in championship games than what you just saw by Casey.
And because of the efforts, by and large, of those 3 guys, Ethan Fry, Luis Hernandez, Casey Evans, LSU is moving on for a home super regional this weekend against West Virginia. And this is an LSU team that is going to be favored heavily in the super regional. As a matter of fact, I checked the odds this morning. LSU is actually the favorite right now to win the national title. Remember, you can't win the national title if you don't get there. LSU right now plus 350 to win the national championship. Arkansas plus 400. Tennessee plus 500. They're next, effectively saying whoever comes out of that regional, that super regional in Fayetteville this weekend, they and LSU are effectively co-favorites to win the national championship this year. Tigers, all they have to do, win a home weekend. Nobody has beaten LSU in a home weekend this season. Nobody. Not Arkansas, not Tennessee, nobody. You've got Cade Anderson, Anthony Ianson queued up. Go win a home weekend, and you're back in Omaha for the 20th time in program history, vying for your second national title in 3 years. And in large part because of Fry, Hernandez, Evans. Lights out. Congrats to those guys, and congrats to the Tigers on the win. All right, we got a ton to get to. Our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. So you're watching the Tigers through this postseason run. If you're going to be at the box this weekend, watching at the sports bar, watching at your house, make sure you got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light. Buds and grilling, a perfect combo. Throwing meat on the grill this summer while you're having a pool day or watching the Tigers. Make sure you got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Okay, Shea Dixon's going to join us when we come back. Massive recruiting weekend this past weekend that we'll recap. I do want to get to more takeaways from the game itself. The lineup changes, the decision to start Zach Cowan, what happened in that grotesque bottom of the second inning, going to Anthony Ianson, what it means for this weekend. We're going to get to all of that throughout this day, and we're fired up to have you with us here as the Tigers continue playing baseball. Stick around. It's AFR.
After further review.
Love telling you about Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell you every day to buy local and shop local. Weather is warm. It's a beautiful time to get out and enjoy a day in your outdoor space. By the pool, in the garden, playing backyard games, grilling, whatever it is. You want to enjoy your outdoor space? A great way to do that is to beautify it with Clegg's Nursery. Remember, bypass the big box store. Go to the garden center that's local, that's served Baton Rouge in our community for 60 years. It's Clegg's Nursery. They got everything you want, even floodlights and contractor bags and duct tape and things like that. They got you covered over at Clegg's Nursery. You need soil, bag, or bulk. You need mulch, bag, or bulk. They got you the largest selections of flowers and plants and trees and shrubs. You need all the stuff to keep the pests away, mosquitoes, ants. They got it all. So buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Yeah! And Tractor Song gets my juices flowing. Let's go. SunnyQuip.com. Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. You even don't need a big tractor. What if you want a zero-turn mower? Go to Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. SunnyQuip.com. Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger, good enough to jump aboard with us as he does every Tuesday, talk a little recruiting. How are you, dude?
I'm doing well. How are you, Matt?
Man, fired up, energetic, ready to roll. Admittedly, Shea, you and I talked last week, and there were 12 official visits, and I'm like, man, they're probably going to pop a commit or two out of this weekend. It didn't happen. Should I be worried that they didn't land any commits this past weekend?
Well, if you're direct quoting me, I said if they end up signing two.
No, I'm not quoting. I'm not quoting you at all. No, I'm just saying normally you have a big recruiting weekend. Dudes get caught up in the excitement of being on campus and you pop one, right? No, you didn't say they would. I'm just curious if you thought maybe they should or could have it over the weekend.
When most of your double-digit visitors are top 100 players with 4 visits still to go, in the NIL era, the days of popping to an out-of-state school is kind of slim, but doesn't mean you don't get them in the end or that every kid's caught up in NIL. But I wasn't surprised at all. Most of these kids have, if not the lore, 90% of them have maybe at least 2 to 3 more visits coming. Some have a full slate of 5 before the month of June ends and then the dead period begins. Really only one of them at the high school level. Bo Bentley is down to 2 teams and is only making 2 visits. So he had LSU this past weekend and OU this coming weekend, and we've talked about him a good amount before, but the clip notes would be that after they didn't sign a high school quarterback, when Bryce Underwood flips in the 11th hour, or with Larry Ellis in Michigan, big payday, drama that unfolded into November, December, that would open the door for them to get in on a high-profile quarterback this cycle. And Bentley's just that, coming out of Texas as one of On3's top 5 quarterbacks and the only one who's not committed anywhere. So LSU visit in the books. OU up this weekend.
All right, how did it go with Bentley in Baton Rouge?
Nobody has a bad official visit, so
True.
I don't want to, rant and rave on that. But look, I'll say this. When he came in March, and we've talked about this, Matt, that visit really pushed LSU up alongside Oklahoma. And this is a kid growing up in an area of Texas where there's a lot of OU fans. He says, hey, look, I grew up, I'm not rooting for the Sooners, pulling for whatever it might be as a kid. Now I'm a recruit and I'm looking at all schools, but Oklahoma has prioritized him as well. So you know that you're up against a school that's kind of had that connection to him, but at the same time, it's not, I don't mean business decision in college NIL sense. I mean long-term future, college playing time, all of that is getting weighed out here by the Bentley family. And look, the wide receivers that have come through here and continue to come through here, it's so hard, as I always say, for you and I to wrap our heads around this, but guys like Bo Bentley, who are 17, 18, they've watched football, as a recruit for 4 or 5 years, and they consider LSU to be a quarterback factory when we would think of the Lincoln Riley OU days, right, of all those guys coming through and winning Heisman's, and he's off to USC now, obviously. So a bit of a shift there in terms of which school can actually pitch the quarterback angle a bit better. In fact, think about it. LSU, Oklahoma's leading receiver the past 2 seasons are both on LSU's roster right now. So a very different switch up for them. I think LSU's in a good spot, and we'll see what happens. But again, that visit in March came with just his dad. This one was dad, mom, girlfriend, brothers. Everybody that kind of is around him and his family, and part of the process was there, which lets you know they're taking this pretty seriously.
The other real big-time recruit on campus, there were plenty, Shea, but that we talked about a week ago was Emmanuel Iannaccio, one of the top players in the country, the offensive lineman. Give us the update or whatever you can tell us about this past weekend with Iannaccio's visit.
Yeah, he is a 5-star, number 2 player in the country, and the only player ahead of him is another offensive tackle. So that one is committed in Jackson Cantwell to Miami, which a lot of people thought, hey, look, if Oregon got Cantwell or, things would have gone a little bit differently. Maybe Iannaccio doesn't look at Oregon as strongly, or Oregon doesn't go as hard after Iannaccio, and they've still got an official visit to come. But this was one where LSU came from almost like completely out of the top 5-6 range, or they were, I would say, about 3 months ago, to getting him to campus, to recruiting him heavily, to going and sitting down with him during the eval period. And now they got his official visit to kick off the month of June. He gave really rave reviews about kind of how the trip went, seeing everything, getting to meet with, Brad Davis, Brian Kelly, who's obviously got a no-line, pretty impressive resume in terms of what he's had develop under, teams coached by him at multiple schools. So I think that LSU was already one of the team that was kind of surging up there, like who could catch Oregon. And this past weekend, I think, in the words of Steve Wilfong as well, who has a good pulse on the national side here, as well as Chad Simmons on 3, they both said, hey, look, LSU can make a very good case that they're in the top 3, if not top 2, but he still has this Oregon visit to come. So we'll see how it unfolds. And this kid's out of the D.C. area, so it's either school would be further away from home than something local.
Does Shea, one quick follow up on Iheanacho. When you look at the fact that you've got with Tyree Adams and Weston Davis, which I presume will be LSU starters, both returning likely for 2026, does that impact a guy like Iheanacho, just the ability to get on the field as a freshman?
I don't think so, because for all we know, one of those guys not even in the year as a starter at LSU. I have no idea. We haven't seen him play yet. So it feels a little different than when Emory and Will Campbell came in, and it was like, okay, if you make this decision, they're probably staying there for 3 years. And both of them did. And along the way, Weston Davis, a 5-star, committed to him. Tyree Adams, a top 100 player, committed to him. They had no trouble getting offensive tackles in here. So, I think they're looking for those next guys up, or guys that can come in and compete right away. And there is no doubt that if you were to pick a handful of guys in the country that could do that next year on a college team, Iheanacho is very firmly in that mix. And let's not forget, LSU just had the highest drafted O-lineman they've ever had in the program's history, which is crazy to think about. But Will Campbell going in the top 5.
He's Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Get him at Shea Dixon. Okay, the other side of it, Shea, that a lot of people here locally are maybe freaking out about a little bit. I use that term lightly. But Kenny Darby, one of the top players in the state of Louisiana, an LSU commit, took a visit to Alabama this past weekend. Any reason to be concerned about it?
I didn't even know which recruit you were going to name when you start saying freaking out, which is the low way to put what happens on message boards right now. But look, Kenny Darby and Tristan Keys, 2 of their 3 receiver commits, the other being Jabari Mack out of Destrehan, who has been solid. Destrehan has been great to LSU, so you kind of don't worry about that one as much. But you look at a kid out of Airline, North Louisiana, and then you look at a guy like Tristan Keys. He's the number 1 receiver in the country. You know that people are going to be courting him, and Bama had been on Kenny Darby, and he came up with a late visit and said, hey, I'm going to go this weekend, and then said that he's going to have this July 4th announcement to kind of finalize things. But I had kind of picked up from talking to those around him that he was already going to do something on July 4th, kind of just celebrating the day and announcing, and that's when the dead period is. So all the kids are kind of putting an end to the recruitments. But, look, he's commented that he's solid and shut it down, and now he's making a visit. But that's the nature of recruiting. I don't think he's going to flip. I think he ends up signing. He'll visit June 20th for his OV, and that'll be the same weekend Jabari Mack's there and the same weekend Tristan Keys is there, who all 3 of those guys were on campus a week ago for unofficial visit as the 3 commits, just kind of hanging out together, getting to know each other. This is arguably, and they could add another, but the best wide receiver class out there if they can hold it together. Keys was at Miami, and he'll make a slew of visits, end it with LSU, and all of those were planned before he even committed to LSU, and he had said all along that he was going to make them. So I think the good news, Matt, is you don't come out of the weekend with any of those guys flipped, right? Like, it's business as usual. Keep moving forward.
Lamar Brown's another one, Shea, an uncommitted prospect who we've talked about a ton. And
I thought that was your panic guy right there.
Look,
you tricked me.
I don't know, man. Who knows what qualifies or classifies? But Shea, with me, especially after Underwood, until we get to signing day and the ink is dry, you just got to take everything with a grain of salt, and you get the best info you can and you proceed. But you could always have a billionaire just come drop a bag on somebody and it flips the whole thing on its head. So you do the best you can. Okay, Lamar Brown was down at Miami. Seemed like it went well. What can you tell us?
Yeah, he had come out from the visit and gave some quotes, at least on 3. And I'm sure they're pretty similar wherever, but that Miami is firmly in this, that they've done maybe the best job of recruiting him here lately. And look, I think Lamar, we joked about this. He's the number 1 athlete in the country at whatever he is. What is it? 4 or 5, 2, maybe taller, 280-something pounds. Can play O-line, D-line. Any college coach would let him on either side of the ball. And he's having fun. Look, and if you think that he's going to ultimately end up at LSU, well, he goes to U High, which is on LSU's campus. So when he goes out to these other colleges, you're not going to not have fun. And I think he's also trying to, does he have interest in these schools? Yeah, sure. But I also think he enjoys the process of it, keeps everyone guessing, even if it's not LSU, that he's kind of high on all of these teams as he goes through the process. But it wasn't long ago that he had named LSU as leader, and he had said similar things on A&M, but we know they've always been in the mix, and he's going to make this Texas visit, which was added late in the process. So everyone's going to be fighting over him. He's a 5-star and one of the best players in the country. I still think that LSU gets him, Matt. I do. I think this is an LSU A&M battle, and sure, if we put the asterisk on it that, anybody this day and age can come in with a massive amount of money in the NIL era. And look, that's one thing right now until this House settlement is pushed through. It's still wild, wild west out here. There is no sense of having to think, hey, look, this is what we have to do, by the rule of the law, letter of the law, to balance out our roster. And, you toss around numbers, and I'm not going to get too deep into confusing everyone here, but if you toss some number at a prospect, and what if that's 15% of your roster budget or something like that? Like, you wouldn't ever do that, but you would right now before the House settlement. So I think it's kind of a weird time for every one of these schools. I know that's what a lot of coaches talked about down in Destin at the SEC coaches conference, clinic, whatever they call it these days, but meetings where, hey, look, the quicker this House settlement gets done, the better, because until then, we are still in this wild, wild west feel, when I kind of get the sense that a lot of people just think, oh, well, that'll get done any day now. And certainly it's not like it was back in November when Larry Ellison comes out of nowhere and steals your 5-star quarterback. No, it is still like that right now.
Yeah, I think the expectation, Shea, is that the House settlement would have already happened by now, but it continues to push forward. So until it is settled, it'll still have a lot of there will be a lot of qualifications and complications, but at least it will add some structure moving forward to whatever that may look like. But in any event, you want to follow all of it on 3, the Bengal Tiger. He's on Twitter at Shea Dixon. Get him there. Good enough to join us every Tuesday here on AFR. Thanks, Shady. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, bud. Be well. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. You want to beautify your home, interior or exterior. They can help. We talk all the time about the hardy plank and vinyl siding that they offer. It won't rot or peel or crack or chip. It comes finished in whatever color you want, and then you're done. Like, you'll never have to paint that ever again. It's also going to make your home more energy efficient. And, by the way, also, it's fire resistant. So make your home safer as well. You can learn about all the great products they have at ReliefWindows.com. Yes, windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding, shutters. They do it all. They do it better than anyone. Listen, if you want to go get a bunch of quotes to see who's going to give you the lowest price, I'll just tell you straight up. Don't even call. They will never be the cheapest. You will find someone who will sell you a cheaper product and cheaper labor, because they're not Relief Windows. But if you want the best quality product, the best customer service experience, an install done right, service after the sale, a true service department, and a lifetime transferable warranty, you want Relief Windows. ReliefWindows.com. Okay, it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC as we continue. Will Helmers will be here in an hour. Look forward to talking to Will in the smidge. Also, I'm going to circle back to the game itself with LSU and Little Rock. Some of the changes that Jay Johnson implemented. Some worked, some didn't. So what sticks around? What do they revert to? We'll dive into all that as we continue. We'll go around the SEC next.
After further review.
Brought to you by the Watermark in the Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Tell you all the time about Renaissance. And, of course, it's a great place if you got family coming in from out of town. Renaissance Baton Rouge is right there on Bluebonnet. Bluebonnet near I-10. You've seen it. The beautiful sprawling hotel. 13,000 square feet of meeting space. They've got Tallulah in the lobby as well. The restaurant right there in the Renaissance, which is a great spot to have a cocktail or glass of wine after work. Or remember, if you got an event coming up, I tell you all the time, call my friend Allison Crump over at Renaissance Baton Rouge. She's the event coordinator over there, and she always says, we're in the business of saying yes. So they have so much square footage there, and so many different ways they can manipulate their space to fit whatever event you have. It's a boardroom meeting for a dozen people, a wedding reception. You need the grand ballroom for a fundraiser for 500 people. They can accommodate you at Renaissance Baton Rouge. So call them today. They're right there on Bluebonnet. Right there in Southtown. It's Renaissance Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile. on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
I was thrilled to see LSU win. I think we could all agree, disappointed seeing Little Rock lose. What a story they were. Again, not at the expense of LSU. I very much am glad they're going home. But that's a program that had never won a regional game ever. Had been to a regional once before. And then won their first, second, and third regional games ever. And tell you, man, AFR karma's real. Chris Curry showed up. He was awesome. He told the hold the rope story. We all love him. And guess what? They go on and push LSU to the brink. You know who slighted the show? At Dan Hefner from Dallas Baptist. They got their ass kicked and ran home. How about that?
That's true. That did happen.
We had Alden Cartwright here yesterday on the show, didn't we? Cartwright made a sacrifice to the baseball gods from 2014, and boy, it didn't look good to start.
No.
But the baseball gods smiled upon us. AFR karma's real. You're welcome. You're welcome. By the way, here was Chris Curry after the loss.
Heck of a run. It was a heck of a run. I'm very grateful. Just told the team in the locker room that every baseball game, at some point, they take the spikes from you and your season is over. And you never want that to happen. But if it's going to happen, you want it to happen in June, and you want it to happen on a postseason field. And we accomplished that. And it hurts right now because we don't like to lose, and we're competitors. But these men, they changed Little Rock baseball forever. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to coach them. And I'm proud. I'm proud of my guys.
An emotional Chris Curry after the loss, but he's right. That team changed Little Rock baseball forever. And a lot of times, these mid-major programs, they get put on the map with postseason runs like this. I mean, we know of Stony Brook, albeit a curse word around here, because of 2012. That's 13 years ago, man. And people know Stony Brook. Last night, if you were watching that game, they showed a graphic of regional 4 seeds to advance to the College World Series. And one of them, I guess it was to advance to Super Regional. One of them was Stony Brook in 2012, which, of course, came to Baton Rouge, won, advanced to the College World Series. So, Fresno State in 2008, man, you make a name for yourself on this stage. And I think Little Rock did. And by the way, whoever runs that Little Rock Twitter account, what are you laughing at?
They were awesome. That's what I'm laughing at. They entertained me a lot this week.
So I didn't follow them. They followed me after we had Curry on. Chris Curry and the Little Rock account followed me. And during the game, I tweeted about the center fielder. His name's Henry.
Zach Henry, yeah.
And I tweeted, hey, man, center fielder saved 2 runs tonight, robbed an extra base hit, Stanfield in the second, Milam in the fourth. And they come back in my mentions. Say his name. And I wanted to reply. I didn't reply because I wanted to reply. I would if I knew it, but I ain't looking it up. But I was like, you know what? I don't want to be disrespectful to the young guy, but heck of a job.
That's so good. I loved it. They were spicy, man. That Twitter account was spicy all week.
That wasn't the only time. I mean, early in the game, this would have been in, hang on. This would have been, it was in second. The blow-up second. I tweet, we really going to go walk hit by pitch before Cano? And they jump up and go, we approve.
That's so good.
In my mentions. So I hit him with the simmer down now. Yeah. Simmer down now. Hey, simmer down now. Because at this point, it's a 1-0 game. LSU's leading, feeling good. Not so good whenever they started coming after me about the center fielder, because I think that was in the fourth. That was Milam's laser in the fourth that got caught. With, by the way, Ethan Fry on second base that would have tied the game. It was a big play by that center fielder. Who someone did look at. I think he's a grad student, so yes. He's out of eligibility. So that's good. So don't worry about him transferring. Besides, I think you're going to have a pretty good center fielder next year anyway. All right. It's after further review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. WilliamsonEye.com. You want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. No matter your age or refractive issue, I say it all the time. Like, I had LASIK 7 years ago. Tell you all the time about Hester, right? Hester had LASIK when he was playing. A couple years ago, I had PRK. Jimmy Ott, laughed at him. We go eat at SEC Media Days, and he'd take us to a French restaurant. He and I would go to some Bistro Nico. He'd order the coq au vin, whatever. Otter, it's all in French. You order. I don't know what I'm looking at. And he's sitting there with his flashlight on his phone, glasses on the end of his nose because he can't see the menu. Don't have to do that anymore. He had the custom lens replacement. So no matter your age or refractive issue, you want to ditch contacts and glasses forever, you can do it. The Williamson Eye Center can help. 924-2020, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Florida Gators.
Florida landed a commitment from 2026 offensive lineman Geneva Carr, 6'4", 336-pound offensive lineman out of IMG Academy in Bradenton. He is the third commit for Florida's 2026 class. Picked the Gators over Tennessee, Georgia, Colorado, about 35 offers. He's the 60th best interior offensive lineman in the country.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia Legacy, Carter Lucky, has committed to Georgia. He's a 3-star defensive lineman. Picked Georgia over Florida State and Ohio State. 6'5", 265. His brother Lawson signed with Georgia a couple of cycles ago. They also added their first 2027 commitment. Gavin Honore, a wide receiver, has committed, 3-star, 5'10", 170, the number 442 player in the country, the 54th best player in California, also runs track and field.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
He doesn't run track and field. He runs track. He's on the track and field team. But he doesn't run field. He runs track. Ole Miss has flipped defensive lineman Carmelo Reed from Wisconsin, 6'6", 250. So now he picked the Rebs over 16 other offers. Ole Miss has 8 players committed for 2026.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Offensive tackle Bryce Gilmore has committed to Arkansas, and Sam Pittman. He's for the 2026 class. 6'5", 294. He's a 4-star prospect, number 186 overall, the 15th best offensive tackle in the class. He's headed to Arkansas.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
And wide receiver Davis McCray out of San Antonio has committed to Kentucky. Chose the Wildcats over perennial powers like Houston, Columbia, and Washington State. Stay hot, Mark Stoops. 6'2", 190, the nation's number 121 wide receiver. Second commit for 2026. All right, there you have it. That is around the SEC. Tuesday shows powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, thanks. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you for being there. Watching on WBTR, we appreciate you. If you're listening in Alexandria, Lafayette, Lake Charles, or anywhere, big shout out. We're just thrilled to have you aboard today on this show. Okay, we'll knock out a quick break, come back, wrap up hour number 1. Nate Yeski talked about Case and Evans, Anthony Irons, and the job that they did. We'll delve into all that, and I do want to dive into my takeaways from the game between LSU and Little Rock as the Tigers are moving on to super regional action against West Virginia. It's AFR.
AFR.
You know, you do have baseball tonight in Baton Rouge. That's right. Rougarou and the Baton Rouge Rougarou have opening night tonight over at Pete Goolsbee Field, and it is free admission for everyone thanks to Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Of course, you can go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. If you want more information about the Rougarou, the schedule, all that stuff, brrougarou.com. But 7 o'clock, first pitch tonight out at Pete Goolsbee Field. And again, free admission for everyone because Gordon's picking up the tab for everyone to go watch some baseball tonight. So if you're looking for something to do with the kids out of school and they're driving you crazy, you can get on out to Goolsbee tonight thanks to Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, and it's a totally free admission event tonight because Gordon's picking up the tab for everyone. I think Gordon's actually going to be coaching first base too. So get out there and give well, he was out there last year, and my guy was out. I mean, he was full on. Look, he had on baseball pants, stirrups, spikes, the whole deal, man. So you know what to do. Get Gordon. Get it done.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
2 outs, bases loaded. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Struck him out. Jason Evans gets it done when they needed it most. An even dozen strikeouts for the Tiger reliever.
Yeah. Letting Evans pitch after he walked the bases loaded was not a great feeling. But worked out. Casson. Lewis. That's where we're going, Muse. We're heading to Omaha.
2 more wins. 2 more wins.
Having way too much fun with this AI song maker.
I see that.
Pretty good. Smack talking.
It's got a good point.
You know what in this 2.5-minute song or whatever it is?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. You know what they scream repeatedly for about 2.5 of the 3 minutes?
Omaha?
I headed to Omaha. Omaha. Yeah. I think this might be the part of the song, Muse, where all they do the rest of the song is just yell Omaha, headed to Omaha.
Okay.
I don't think we have any more verses.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, no. Oh, wait, let's hear it. What do you think he's going to say next?
The College World Series. Where is that? Where is the College World Series?
Huh. Let me think. I think I've heard of it before. Oh, no. Oh, no. They just yell the College World Series the rest of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Dang. I was really
We'll probably circle it back. You know.
Oh, that would have been the perfect
that
time.
Been a great time.
Yeah.
We'll head to Omaha. I am having a lot of fun with these AI songs. Our Muse anthem is still my favorite, but
that's because that one was the best.
It was accurate as well.
Well, it wasn't accurate.
Appropriately,
it was just funny, and it was the best one. So
very appropriate. You don't have it over there, I know, right?
I do not have it over here.
I'm not surprised. Don't worry about it. I'll just.
Well, also, by the way, no.
Yeah.
Also, you played that one off your phone into the microphone.
Yeah,
that's why I don't have it.
I also sent it to you. So you do have it.
There it is.
Here we go.
They say it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
And after further review.
But I know a place is 420 all the time. It's right there in the studio with you. I guess that's what you get for having a name like Moose.
Like, what does that even mean?
I guess that's what you get for being a damn hippie.
And hey, I mean, what? Hippie?
I don't know. It's really good. I tell you what, I think we are tomorrow working out of time, but I think we're going to have Bradley Neffendorf on the show, who's the head coach of the LSU Shreveport Pilots, who did win the NAIA World Series, polished off a perfect 59-0 season. And if you did not hear the story today, they've been invited to the White House. So that is a phenomenal story. I mean, I'm going to have to alter one of the things I very consistently say, which is it's baseball. Everybody loses in baseball. Like the 27 Yankees lost 40 times. I mean, everybody loses in baseball at some point, unless you're LSU Shreveport and you go 59-0. I don't care what level of ball you're playing. You go 59-0 in baseball, a sport where LSU could be ruled by Northwestern State. It's incredible. So congrats to the LSUS Pilots on their national championship. Mike Johnson, the House Speaker, it represents the Shreveport area, has invited him up, set up the whole thing. So that'd be a really cool thing when it happens. We'll follow it. And I think we're gonna have Coach Neffendorf on Wednesday. We're trying to work out a time, but we'll have him, if not tomorrow, certainly one day this week. Hey, we're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Heading toward the summer, maybe you got a wedding coming up. You've already popped the question. You're in the final planning stage. You need your wedding bands. You can buy your wedding band at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, his or hers. And remember, ladies or gents, tell the lady in your life, Lee Michaels has great Father's Day gifts as well. Right on the homepage, there's Father's Day gifts from David Yerman. You can click the tab right there. All different types of budgets, whatever you're looking to spend, they can help you out at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. 9 locations in all, and online at lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. Here comes SportsCenter. Get you caught up on national headlines. When we come back, I do want to go through a little bit of game flow, some of the decisions Jay Johnson made, what worked, what didn't. That's next, AFR.
AFR.
We are officially into hurricane season now. The calendar is flipped to June. This is the time to start making considerations for your roof. Parish Construction and Roofing, we'd love to help. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Even if you're not ready for a roof replacement, there are certain precautions you could take by having a roof inspection to have it clean, your gutters cleaned. If there are loose shingles or things that we could help with, help fortify your roof now before the storm comes, let us help. Starts with that free, no obligation roofing inspection. Go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Yes, do residential, also commercial. No matter the size of your commercial building or what type of roof you have, we love to help. You know, right in Baton Rouge, the Industrialplex area with all those warehouses, you want to lower the temperature in those warehouses. Cool TPO product could help do that. Let us come take a look. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. After leading the Knicks to the playoffs 4 times in the last 5 years, head coach Tom Thibodeau is fired just 3 days after the team was eliminated by the Pacers. ESPN's Shams Charania.
You think about what they've done as an organization, like to lose in the conference finals, that's not a bad feat. This is a team that's gone from really out of much contention at all. Then when Tom Thibodeau comes in, they become respectable again. 4 or 5 seasons in the playoffs. They've had back-to-back 50-win seasons for the first time since the 1990s.
Shams Charania on the Pat McAfee Show. Dodgers shortstop Mookie Betts back in the lineup tonight when they host the Mets. He's missed the last 4 games with a broken toe on his left foot. Yankees closer Luke Weaver goes on the injured list today with a left hamstring strain. Our Jeff Passan reports Weaver's expected to be out 4 to 6 weeks. At the French Open today, men's quarterfinals, Americans Francis Tiafoe and Tommy Paul both knocked out Tiafoe in 4 sets by the 8 seed Lorenzo Musetti, and Paul in straight sets by the 2 seed Carlos Alcaraz.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tom, play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Will Helmers in 15 minutes from right now. This is now official, just coming down. The New Orleans Saints have now officially processed Derek Carr's retirement. So Derek Carr said he was retiring. He had announced it, but that still has to be officially processed before you can free up the roster spot. and replace that roster spot by signing another player, which they have now done. We're expecting the same with Ryan Ramczyk. So when that's official, we'll know and we'll let you know. But Derek Carr, his retirement has been officially processed by the New Orleans Saints in the NFL. So he is now officially retired, frees up the roster spot on the New Orleans Saints. All right. By the way, you can always text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. I mentioned, like everybody in the country was pulling for Little Rock last night. It's just common, right? People pull for the Cinderellas. Bronson said, Matt, you're wrong when you said everyone in the country except for Baton Rouge is pulling for Little Rock. So I'm pretty sure Omaha was pulling for the Tigers too. That's true. Notably, the business owners in Omaha were absolutely, I stand corrected. There is no doubt that the business owners in Omaha are aching for a purple and gold World Series and a very long stay for LSU. So well noted. LSU escaped what would have been a disastrous, humiliating loss. I would have put it up at the top of the list, the worst in program history. By rallying from down 5-1 in the second to win. Ethan Fry, the big 2-out, 3 RBI double in the fourth. Luis Hernandez, a couple of solo homers. Tigers took the lead in the seventh. Luis with the solo homer in the eighth, put you up 7-5, and then you expanded your lead there in the top of the ninth. Jared Jones, a homer. Nice to see Bear get going. There's a couple of things throughout the game, a couple of decisions that Jay Johnson made that are certainly worth talking about. And one of the things that I always say, if you listen every day, if you've heard anything I've ever talked about this entire season, I always, and I firmly believe this, that baseball's a game of failure. If you have sound logic behind the decisions you make, I can live with the results. And so you try not to act with the benefit of hindsight to say, oh, that was a bad move, you shouldn't have done that. Well, if it doesn't work, then clearly it was a bad move. But it doesn't mean that it was wrong at the time or the logic was wrong. So Jay Johnson made two decisions just from jump that a lot of people are discussing. One is the decision to start Zach Cowan, and the two are the lineup changes. Let's start with Cowan. I have no problem starting Zach Cowan. We talked about it yesterday here. Zach Cowan threw 110 innings a year ago at Wofford. He started regional games for Wofford a year ago. It wasn't going to be too much. You knew he could extend. He's been in that moment before. You went with the more veteran guy. I also very much understand Kason Evans is better arm talent. Kason Evans started 3 times this year. He was good against Tennessee. And the last 2 times we saw Kason Evans start against Arkansas and Texas A&M, he didn't make it out of the fourth. It didn't go well. And it's why LSU made the decision to move him back into the bullpen for the effect of using him in multiple games. By the way, didn't we see it manifest on Sunday why Kason Evans has been in the bullpen? Because you have struggled to find consistent arms in the bullpen this year. It is your biggest wart. Evans is your best guy. Leave him there, it can affect multiple games. So I get it. I totally understand. And you would have loved to have seen Zach Cowan get you through the lineup once or twice and then hand the ball to Evans and see if he could get you home or get you close. It just didn't work out. Zach Cowan got you through the first, allowing just a single. He got a strikeout to end the first, but then in the second, he just lost it. You went 4-pitch walk, hit by pitch, and then a stunningly bad decision by Bear Jones. Cano is up, who's murdered you all weekend. There's 2 on, nobody out. Cowan makes the pitch and gets Cano to hit a little squibber down the first base line. And instead of picking the ball up and tagging Cano and sending their best hitter back to the dugout and taking the out, Jones lets it go foul. And Cano picks his bat up again, and he hits an RBI single because, of course, he did. Which, by the way, for all the conversations we have about sacrifice bunting here, think about how good you would have felt as a defender, as LSU, if Jones had fielded that ball, tagged out Cano. Wouldn't you gladly give up the bases for the out? Wouldn't you? Of course you would. That's why bunting is stupid. And then Cano grabbed the bat and got the RBI single, which is why you let your guy swing away. Again, I'm okay bunting to score a run. no different than a sac fly or a ground ball to the right side to get a run home from third. I'll give up and out to score a run. The objective is to score runs, not to advance runners. Anyway. And then it just imploded. They went sac bunt, which was dumb because you had gone walk, hit by pitch, single, and then you gave Zach Cowan an out when he couldn't get anybody out. Then he issues a walk, then gives up a 2 RBI single. Like the only out Zach Cowan recorded in the second was the out Little Rock gave him with a sacrifice bunt. And then you committed an error. It was just an implosion in the second, and it felt like absolute mud. Was this Jay after the game on the decision to start Zach Cowan?
Obviously, Kayson's performance speaks for itself, and the thought was they would not be able to adjust to his tempo and aggressiveness following Zach.
I have no problem with the decision that Jay Johnson made. It just didn't work. And that happens. Like, go back to 2023 in the College World Series. The game where Griffin Herring gave you 6 innings. Remember who started that game? It was Javen Coleman. And we're like, oh, man, senior. He's been through the grind. It's his moment. It's his time. Get him at. And it just, I don't remember. Did Coleman make it through the first? I don't even think Javen Coleman made it through the first inning. And then Herring came in and gave you 6 innings of relief. It was like, it doesn't mean your logic was wrong for the decision you made. It just didn't work. But thankfully, you had Case and Evans ready to go. The other big change was in the lineup. And we've talked a lot about Bear Jones and his struggles. Listen, every hitter in the history of ever has had a 2 for 20. It sucks. It's miserable to watch. It's miserable to go through. During his sophomore year, Alex Bregman had one of those stretches. And remember, Maneri moved him down to the 8 hole. And by the end of the season, Bregman had caught fire again. That was in 2014. But, like, everybody in the history of baseball goes through it. Jones, it's a bad time to go through that right now. He was very good against South Carolina, by the way, in the final weekend. But he wasn't good in 2 games in Hoover, and he struggled at the beginning of this regional. It was very nice to see him bust out of it, but clearly the decision to move Ethan Fry to the 2 hole, Milam to the 3, Jones down to the 6. Jay explains the whole thing, but at the top, clearly he wanted to get Fry after Curiel. He was going lefty-righty. But this was Jay explaining how he set up the order 1 through 5 right there.
I'll walk you through the whole thing. So Derek Curiel is the engine of this offense, and how he plays inspires the team. And then it's Ethan Fry. Right now, he's one of the best hitters in the country, and I wanted to get him up as much as we possibly could. I wanted them to feel pressure immediately in the game with him stepping in the batter's box. Steven, his at-bats this weekend were him at his best player. He will play baseball for a very long time if he takes the caliber of at-bats that he has. And I felt good going into the day, like that's what he was going to do. Danny hit 2 homers and then hit a deep fly ball against him the other night, and how they pitched them, I knew they were viewing him as a big threat, and I thought that would help Steven get pitches to hit. Jake, I thought, was a good matchup, being that we were going to see the types of pitchers that we saw tonight.
And then you dropped Bear at that point to the 6 hole, which took a little pressure off, and this is where Howie finishes the lineup.
And then on the best teams that I've had, that 6-hole guy, after you're having to work through the top 5 and all those guys doing their job, sometimes they can get forgotten about a little bit. Or the pitcher lets up just a little bit, and I wanted to kind of give Jared that advantage. Chris Stanfield, I thought, played awesome this weekend. I wanted to get him up a couple more times. I thought maybe getting him one more at bat in the 9th inning, and he hit the chopper, and, the speed obviously created a run. I told the team that was the best 8-hole hitter in the country tonight in Luis, and that was also on the board, actually. Michael just played defense because with Zach and Kaysen, there was a sense the ball was going to be on the ground and, run tough at bats and turn the lineup over. And I felt like I liked the flow of all of it a lot better. Again, when you think about how we started, if you have sound logic behind the decisions you make and can live with the results, that's very clear. Jay very clearly had a plan and a thoughtful approach to how we wanted to set up the lineup. And thankfully, it worked. But it worked because Ethan Fry finally came through in a big spot. Remember, in the third, you had loaded the bases. In the third, when you'd gone walk, single, with 2 walks and a single, loaded the bases for Brown, had a really competitive at-bat, worked it full, and then he flew out to left. And it was very deflating because you had just gone down 5-1. It looked like you're going to respond, and then it's deflating. Well, then Case and Evans put on his cape. But you went out there in the 4th, and
You were the beneficiary of a couple of walks again. Jones led off that inning with the single, and then here comes Fry with the big 3-run double that got you right back into it. Did mention it before, but a couple of other notes I wrote down. The Little Rock center fielder, Henry, was fantastic. He saved a run in the second off of it was Stanfield in the second who it was Stanfield in the second with Milam at first. I'm sorry, with Brown at first. Brown had the infield single to lead off the inning, and you on fly out, the second fly to center field. That was Stanfield that he just hit that missile to center, and guy made a great running catch. That's a certain run scored there, and you're up 2-0 if that ball lands. Center fielder saved a run right there. And then in the sixth inning, no, I'm sorry, it was the fourth inning when Milam hit the ball after Fry's three RBI double. Fry standing on second base. Milam ropes one to center. That's when he made the running catch and leapt against the wall. I mean, Fry scoring from second, and you'd have a tie ball game right there. Instead, you go back in the dugout, still down a run 5-4, feeling good, feeling better, but still down. So, hat tip. That guy was great. Bottom second was a mess, and it all started with Jared Jones not fielding that little tapper from Cano. And it unraveled on you, but thankfully you pulled it together. And Ethan Fry was massive. Kason Evans was massive. Luis Hernandez, his 2 homers. That's where we started the show today. Those 3 dudes went a gigantic way in writing their legacy, their spot in the LSU history books. You know, if this team goes on, wins this weekend against West Virginia, advances to the College World Series, you know, part of the story we're going to tell of this team is that, is facing elimination against Little Rock the day that those 3 guys had to push you through when you were down 5-1 and you had a season on the brink. We will talk more about West Virginia as we move throughout the week, but you know, the guy who offensively has really not been very productive is Braswell, and you heard Jay say it there, and he led with the glove, and that's going to be a massive thing this weekend against West Virginia because that's not a big bopper of a team. They got 55 homers on the season. They've stolen 108 bases. So they're a get them on, get them over, get them in type team. You're going to want to have great defense, and Braswell needs to be out there for it. But we'll see what decisions Jay elects to make as they get toward the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Super Regional, 1 o'clock Saturday, 5 o'clock Sunday, to be determined Monday in the if necessary game. But hopefully it ain't necessary. The only other decision, and we'll talk a little bit about this with Helmers when he's here in about 15 minutes, was bringing Ianson out of the bullpen. 100% the right decision. I tweeted about it early in the game, and I think a lot of you probably agreed and thought it would happen. But on 2 days rest, effectively a bullpen day, it was 20 pitches, and he got you home. I mean, who else would you rather turn the game over to in that situation than your best available arm? And he gave you an inning and 2/3. So he recorded 4 outs for you. He struck out 3. 3 of the 4 outs he recorded were strikeouts, and you moved on. He needed, again, just 20 pitches, which doesn't preclude him at all from starting on taking his turn on Sunday in the Super Regional with full rest. So awesome. Just a very well-managed game as it played out, and the Tigers are moving on. Okay, it's after further review. Our Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Quick break. Will Helmer's bottom of the hour. Jacques Doucet caught up with Leonard Fournette, who talked about playing for the New Orleans Saints. Is that a possibility the Saints should consider? Let's talk about it. It's AFR.
AFR.
GLOGlowresources.com. GLOGlowresources.com. Complete employer solutions. I say it that way because at Glow Resources, they're not a temp staffing agency. If you're an employee looking for a job, don't call. They're not looking for you to call them. They'll find you. At Glow Resources, they want to talk to you, the business owner. And they specialize in skilled blue-collar labor. Welders, carpenters, heavy equipment operators, crane operators. They also have the professional placement division, where if you need help on the admin side, civil construction, maritime, service companies, appliances, any type of business, radio, legal, anything, media companies, all of it. It's Glow Resources. I mean, and they can help you. here at home base, in Baton Rouge, anywhere in Louisiana, or anywhere in the world. Check them out online at glowresources.com. Complete employer solutions, Glow Resources.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Open up a throttle and stir a little dust. Just look at her face. She ain't a fooling me. She thinks my tractor's sexy.
Our Rad Dad contest is back and bigger than ever. Roaming Shot Outdoors and Citizens Bank and Trust bring your dad's favorite gifts ever. A green egg, thanks to Goodwood Hardware, a steak pack from Chris's Specialty Foods, manly soap from Hawk Soap, and a hunting class for 2 from Roaming Shot Outdoors. All you have to do, upload pics of your dad doing dad things at 1045ESPN.com now through June 8th, and then vote June 9th through June 12th. Happy Father's Day to all those rad dads out there.
We have Evermore in the Rad Dad case. Muse?
What?
Do we have Evermore?
Oh, I thought that was a statement. I didn't know that. I thought you were saying y'all do. No, it's not listed here.
Oh, Paulie, look at the time.
Right on cue.
4:22.
It sounded like a statement the way you the way you said it.
You want to roll back the tape? Just a little spacey over there. That's all.
I mean, we can, sure. Right? Yeah.
Paulie.
Yes.
The good stuff's hitting a little quicker. You know what I mean? That's how you know if he's got the good stuff over there today.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely got the good stuff.
The really good stuff.
I was wondering what you were doing.
This has to be our new rejoin every day in the second segment of hour 2.
In the second segment, you're on my? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Will Helmers will be here in a few minutes. Jacques Doucet from WAFB caught up somewhere with Leonard Fournette and mentioned this little ditty about the possibility of playing for the hometown team.
We'll see. We'll see. From New Orleans, it'll be an honor to play in the Superdome, especially with the Saints. Me growing up 5 minutes from there, so we shall see.
Fournette said he's not retired, so he is looking for his next team. And to be clear, he didn't bring that up. That was a question Jacques Doucet asked, like, would you play for the Saints? Or a Saints possibility. We'll see. My guess is that at this point, if you're a Fournette and you want to play, that any team that would call would be a possibility. I don't mean that to be disparaging in any way. I mean, Leonard is the greatest running back talent ever at LSU. I mean, he was a top 5 pick in the draft. He's amazing. But he's also a guy that didn't play football in 2024. So I started thinking, like, okay, well, would it make sense for the Saints to sign Leonard Fournette? And a couple of years ago, I did lobby for this because it made sense. A couple of years ago, you were still all in. When Leonard got released late in the year, I think it was in 22 by Tampa, if I'm not mistaken. I lobbied for the Saints to sign Fournette. He'd come off the playoff Lenny run. He was late in his career, but he would have still been sort of the Mark Ingram component of the Alvin Kamara Mark Ingram tandem that worked so well. Like there was a point where it made sense to bring in Fournette, not just because he played at LSU and was from New Orleans. Like stylistically, it made sense for what the Saints did. If you eliminate emotion of Leonard being from New Orleans and playing for the Saints, and you just do a blind resume, I don't think this makes a lick of sense anymore. And I get it, man. Having Clyde on the team is awesome. When they signed Tyron and Jarvis in the same offseason, it was like, man, like they're getting the band back together. We had the picture of Tyron in his Saints uniform holding up the LSU helmet, the St. Aug helmet on each shoulder. I mean, how cool was that? Sort of a full circle moment. They brought Will Clapp back this offseason. They signed Foster Moreau a couple of years ago as well. So you've seen this trend of LSU players with the Saints, which is really cool. I mean, it is cool to be able to root for the LSU guys in New Orleans. Quan Alexander. But if you just go blind resume, I don't think this makes sense. Leonard's 30 years old. And I know in real life, 30 is very young. Even for some NFL positions, 30 can be relatively young. For an NFL running back, we know that's typically when they fall off a cliff. And it's happened for Leonard, unfortunately. I mean, he had a great season in Tampa in 2021. He averaged 4.5 yards a carry, which was the most of his career, the yards per carry. He had 812 yards, 8 rushing touchdowns, was a very nice piece in Tampa after he had gone there late in 2020, was part of their Super Bowl run. We all remember playoff Lenny, carried that into 2021 where he played in 14 games and was a very productive player. And then in 2022 in Tampa, the productivity dropped. He had about the same amount of carries, but averaged about a full yard per carry less. He went from 4.5 yards a carry to 3.5, 8 touchdowns to 3, 800 yards to 812 to 668. Like the productivity just dropped. And you see that with running backs. And then he went to Buffalo in 2023 and saw action in just 2 games. And then last year, he didn't play. He didn't see action in a single game a year ago. Spent some time on Buffalo's practice squad, but didn't play. So the market sometimes tells you the answer. And the market is speaking very loudly about Fournette. He's a veteran player. He's 30 years old. From 21 to 22, his productivity dropped dramatically. And then he only played in 2 games for Buffalo and then was out of the league last year. So, I mean, the emotional part to see Leonard in the black and gold is really cool. I don't know that this helps you. And it's not a thing where you're looking for veteran depth. Like, we've had the conversation about the Saints adding a veteran quarterback, and the point I've made by and large is, look, even if Tyler Shuck or Spencer Rattler were to beat out that veteran quarterback, great. I'd still want a veteran in that room to mentor a young quarterback. I don't know that that's even remotely comparable with running backs because you still got Alvin Kamara in that room, who's the greatest running back in Saints history. Kamara's 29 years old. Look at the rest of your running back roster. Velus Jones is 28 years old. Clyde's 26, y'all. Xavier Valladay's on the roster. He's 26. Kendre Miller's 22. And then you got Devin Neal and Marcus Yarns, 2 rookies coming in. You got 7 running backs on the roster. You don't need a 30-year-old running back. You just don't. You got one in Alvin Kamara. You don't need another 30-year-old running back on the roster. I mean, I guess because Leonard is stylistically very different from Kamara and Velus Jones, a bigger, more physical back. If you wanted to bring Fournette in, like sign him to a veteran minimum contract and let him come to camp and try to win a roster spot, okay. I mean, I guess I could see that. But truthfully, if I'm looking at a roster spot for New Orleans, I am more interested in developing Devin Neal and Kendre Miller than seeing what 30-year-old Leonard Fournette can give you. Because, again, this is how we have to reshape what we think about the New Orleans Saints right now. For 15 years, it was always, who's going to help you win a championship? You win the division, get in the playoffs, make a run. And this team isn't doing that anyway. So you've got to reframe to say, who's going to help you over the next 5 years? Well, Tyler Shuck is a very worthwhile investment over the next half decade. Kendre Miller, if you can start to get something out of him, he's only 22 years old. Yes, that's a worthwhile investment if you can maximize him. Kelvin Banks, can you figure out a way to make Trevor Penning a starting player, even if at guard? Like, that's where your investment needs to be in this team. What young players can help you win over the next 5 years as you're building. You're laying the foundation and building again. 30-year-old Leonard Fournette isn't that. And under the new CBA, veteran minimums have priced a lot of guys out of the league. I remember, I know we've told this story before, but we had that conversation with Roman Harper. At the end of his career, Roman Harper said, I would have played another year for less than the veteran minimum. But when he had got a decade into the league or whatever the number was, his veteran minimum was like $1.2 million. He's like, I would have played for half that just to keep playing. Oh, I'm ballparking the numbers. Forgive me, I don't have them in front of me, so please don't quote me on that number. But it was something like that. Like for his tenure in the NFL, his veteran minimum was like $1.2 million or something like that. He's like, I would have played for $800,000, whatever the number was. He would have played for less than that. But contractually, in the CBA, he couldn't. So it priced him out of the league. So, and it's similar with Leonard here. Do the New Orleans Saints need an expensive veteran running back? No, they do not. They need to get younger and more affordable. And Leonard Fournette doesn't do that for you. So I wish him well, and I hope he catches on somewhere and has a really productive season and finds a niche somewhere with a winning team and has a chance to go ham in the postseason again and be playoff Lenny and, be a guy chasing another ring and maybe finds it somewhere. I just don't think it's in New Orleans in this year, in this transitional phase of the organization. All right, it's after further review. Agree, disagree, let me know. Email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways you can get involved in the show. It's after further review. Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We'll knock out a break. Former LSU pitcher Will Helmers next.
AFR.
we are smack dab in the middle of turnaround season. You work in the plants, you know that. Really through about October, if you got a turnaround coming up, or know you'll have one coming up, you're looking for someone to bid that job, strongly encourage you to reach out to our friends at Action Industries and the Advanced Turnaround Group. Remember, the Advanced Turnaround Group, which we tell you about all the time, this is a subsidiary of Action Industries. It's just their turnaround division. They're not taking people from other parts of the business and throwing them into turnaround work. These are workers that are proficient in turnaround, managers, operators, all proficient in turnaround work. At the Advanced Turnaround Group, they offer 24-hour emergency availability, specialty welding. They do it all. It's the Advanced Turnaround Group over at Action Industries. Great local business, been around for more than 40 years. You can learn more online. Contact my friends at Action Industries online at actionindinc.com. That's Action Industries.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
I think tempo's the best thing you can have when you're on the mound. It's one of the biggest factors that a lot of pitchers don't have, and when you don't have tempo, then you're not going to be able to get dudes out. So at one point in the game, I got a little too fast. I think Cade Anderson came up to me, and he's like, you threw 4 pitches in 20 seconds. And so I think that was a little too fast, but I was able to go back out there and get within myself and go compete.
It worked. Kason Evans, 12 strikeouts. He was spectacular for LSU out of the bullpen, gave the Tigers a chance to win and advance. A guy who put LSU in a similar position a year ago is Will Helmers, who took the ball in regional championship and was absolutely outstanding. He's good enough to join us now. Yo, man, how are you?
Fantastic. How about yourself?
Doing really well. So what did you think of the decision to start Cowan instead of Evans?
Man, I mean, I liked it. You give Cowan a chance to start it off. He's got a great changeup. Usually has great command, and look, it just wasn't his day. And at the same time, that also gives you a chance that Kayson's going to come in the game, and he's been great starting. He's been great out of the bullpen, and I like the move, and obviously it paid off. And Kayson had just an outstanding game. It doesn't get better than that. He was confident. He was gritty. He pitched with all he had, and it was just unbelievable. Fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree on Zach. We talked about it yesterday. It for a lot of reasons it made sense, and I would say, Will, like in baseball, if there's sound logic behind the decisions you make, you can live with the results because it's a game centered around failure. A lot of times it's just not going to work. But one more. What do you think over the last 4 of his last 5 outings have not been good for Zach Cowan after he was so special? What do you think has happened there? Anything you see?
That's a loaded question because there's so many different things and so many facets of baseball itself and pitching itself, mental confidence, mechanics, all of the above. And so, with him, a little bit what I see is he's struggling a little bit with command. And, people get, frustrated because he didn't do that all season before. And guys are starting to get hits and get on base when that wasn't a factor early in the season. And, like baseball's hard. You go through slumps, you go through rough times on the mound. He's just got to become a little bit more confident in himself. I think you get on that slump streak of things not going well and you kind of beat yourself up a little bit, and maybe, that messes with your mental game a little bit and your, everything you do before the game, whatever it may be. And so that always can have a factor in what's going on while you're pitching. And it might not be anything you're doing mechanically. Maybe it's something in your head or something that's on your mind that's, messing with you.
He's been so good for LSU, and they're going to need Zach Cowan to regain that form if they're going to make a run in the postseason, because we've seen the bullpen kind of get a little thinned out here. Will, when you look at the bullpen at this point, and I'll come back to Evans too. It was awesome. I want to ask you. Let's go there first. Just stay on that point. Now I'll come back to the bullpen. Do you see comps with what Evans did last night and what you were asked to do by Jay and Nate Yeske last year?
Definitely. He just did it better.
I don't know, dog. You're pretty awesome last year in that spot, man.
Man, that was fun. But absolutely. That's a guy, I guess. Well, it's obviously a guy they have a lot of trust in. They have the whole season. And it's a very similar spot. He came in, I guess he came in the, let's see, 4th?
No, he came in the 2nd.
2nd.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the exact same thing. And he went 6 innings, 12 punchies, all that, all that kind of stuff. And, obviously a lot of similarities with it. And it's, now that's a guy they really trust. And, I think they're going to leave him in the bullpen. With an outing like that, you obviously have a lot of confidence with him out of the pen. So let's leave him there. And so he's in a great spot. And he's just got to keep his confidence up and keep rolling with the punches.
Okay. I'm glad you went there. For what it's worth, I agree. But there's a lot you're going to hear a lot of, well, it went so well with him extending. You don't have a nailed-down third starter. Why not start him? So, Will, why not start him?
Why? I feel like I should coach. It happens every year. It seems like there's somebody that look Griffin Herring, the guys like that along the way who were just better out of the pen. Javen Coleman couldn't start, and then he'd come out of the pen in Oregon and throw 7 innings. And some guys are just great out of the pen. Now he was great at starting too when he had those couple Sunday starts. So it could go either way, but I keep him out of the pen because his last outing, Monday night, that's where he's most confident right now is out of the pen. So, I don't mess with anybody that's confident and that's coming out of the pen. That's where my mind goes with it as to the why.
Will Helmers is our guest. And also because you're really struggling to find guys that you can count on out of the bullpen. And he's your best one.
Exactly.
And he can affect multiple games. So
right.
Moving forward, and this is kind of what I wanted to go back to, and listen, you were on this staff a year ago with Jay and with Nate Yeske and some of these same guys. So how do you think they start to formulate what they're going to do this weekend in Super Regionals, given what just happened when you got past your first 4 and 5 options?
Right. Look, they have the 2 best starters in college baseball right now, in my opinion. And that's just an opinion, but
Will, I don't even think that's debatable. Like seriously, like
okay,
they're like that's not like you're going on a limb. Like I think we all understand both of the like Kate Anderson's going to be a top 5 pick, and nobody has a 1-2. Lots of people have great numbers. Liam Doyle might be the best pitcher in the country. Nobody has a 1-2 like this.
No, it's the 1-2 punch of the century. It really is, and that's what you really need this time of the season. And look, to get through the Super Regional, that's the biggest key, is having 2 elite starters. Both of these guys are capable of throwing a complete game, and you need 2 wins this weekend. So that's right now they're focused on that, and the bullpen piece. You get guys, guys are coming along with obviously, it's hit and miss with some guys, and so you just got to do your best to match up. I think at that point, with a guy like Rizzi, and then Cooper Williams actually had a great outing this weekend, coming in in a not great spot, and that's great for a freshman. Great to have a lefty who is going to fill up the zone. Rizzi's been good. Chase Shores has still got it, just in case anybody was just wondering. He had a bad outing. It's his past 6 before that were great outings out of the pen. He's still got it. He's still got big league stuff and can really contribute to a lot of stuff along the way. And all those guys that have pitched throughout the season. Rizzi, Cowan, Evans, Shores, Williams, Newt. All these guys can contribute and have the stuff. It's just a matter of, who can pitch when the lights are on. Pressure is a privilege, and you got to want it.
You were obviously on a team that won a Super Regional a couple of years ago, went to Omaha, won a national championship. What is this week like under Jay Johnson and getting ready for a Super Regional?
The same as every other week. And I think it's great that they're playing a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, which is, that's huge for, you save some pitching, gives guys some rest, a couple extra days. That's great, but it's just like any other week, practice, do a little media, all that whole 9 yards, but it's sticking to their plan and sticking to what they're good at. And that's the way Jay rolls. That's the way Yeske rolls. They're going to stick to their plan and execute.
Did you have any problem whatsoever going to Ianson out of the bullpen, knowing you might have a quick turnaround here in Supers?
Not really. Look, he threw 98 pitches, and that was on Friday to Monday. You knew it wasn't going to be a long stint for him. I don't know how many pitches he threw total last night, but
20.
Yeah. So he's at 120, 120 pitches in 4 days. It's nothing that he can't handle. He's got the arm, he's got the strength, he's got the recovery aspect down to a T, and so I think there's no worry about that. And he also gets, most likely, depending on how they match it up, an extra day.
Yeah.
Because of that Saturday Sunday start.
Yeah, that's got to be a huge part of it too, right?
Right.
Because he'll have now four full days. Before he throws on Sunday, so it shapes up so nicely for them, man. Okay, before you go, Will Helmers, Louisiana Loaded. Make sure you follow Louisiana Loaded on all of the socials at Louisiana Loaded. This is part of Gordon's team where Will just goes around and does cool stuff like shotguns, beers, and eats Mary Lee donut. By the way, dude, it's not Mary Lee's. It's not Mary Lee's. There's no S. It's Mary Lee.
And
it's Mary Lee.
Hey, I appreciate that. I'm going to fix that right now.
No, you're not, but that's okay, and I get it. I'm a grammar nerd, and people crush me all the time for it.
I promise you, I will fix it tomorrow. I'll put a new video out just for you.
Tag me and tag the grammar nerd Matt Moscona for pointing out that it's Mary Lee and not Mary Lee's. But everybody says Mary Lee's. So what's coming up on Louisiana Loaded?
Oh man, all of it. We're fishing, we're hunting, hitting festivals, drinking, eating, cooking, all of it. Just having a good time all around Louisiana.
I want to be on the show, man.
Come on.
Well, invite me somewhere.
Let's see what's coming up.
You
want to go offshore fishing?
No, absolutely not.
Lame.
No, I don't ask me to go hunt or fish. I'm not doing either of those things. But anything.
You want to go drink whiskey?
Yep, let's do it.
How about a whiskey tour in New Orleans?
Yes. Now we're talking. Yes. Where are we going? When are we going? I'm ready.
Oh, they got a distilling company in New Orleans. I think it's 7-3 Distilling.
7-3 Distilling. Q's my guy. I know him well. I can hook that up. He's probably.
Hey, I got it hooked up.
He's probably listening right now, as a matter of fact.
Perfect. We're going to do a little tour and private tasting.
Let's go. All right. Coming soon, Louisiana Loaded. Follow it. All right, we got to run. Thanks for the time, dude.
Thank you, sir.
All right, man. That is Will Helmers. It's AFR.
After further review.
I popped into Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness earlier today. Saw Mimi over there. Had my NAD Plus ready. I've told you about it if you're not familiar. Listen, Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, yes, they do ED treatments. They got the funny name, the funny logo. They laugh when I say that too, which I love. But they do so much more. Hormone replacement therapy is a massive part of their business. You want to feel like your younger self. Also, look up the research. Heart health, prostate health, energy levels, clearing brain fog, waking up in the morning being ready to go, libido. Hormone replacement therapy can help with all of that. They also do things like NAD plus therapy. This is about cellular optimization. It's about making your cellular biology younger. Learn more about NAD plus therapy. Go by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Say, I heard Scone talking about these things at NAD. Ask about it, learn about it. Live your best, fullest, healthiest life. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport.
That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Wrapping up hour number 2. My buddy Rooney over at Sunshine. I said we need to get Helmers driving tractors also. I like that for Louisiana Loaded. I'll go do that. And get him on the levee and Lutcher with the bonfires. That's good. Now you're talking. True to the core, Louisiana. Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Sunnyquip.com. Muso Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Well, it's everybody's favorite day again. Paul Skeens is going to pitch. Means Paul Skeens shove day. Pirates are hosting the Astros. Skeens on the bump. Sparkling numbers, except for that win-loss record because his offense stinks. But a 2.1 ERA. He has punched out 77 already in 75 in the third and walked just 18. I mean, he's been awesome. We'll see if they can go ahead and get him some run support tonight. Get that record back to 500. That'd be awesome. For what it's worth, though, Paul Skeens is still, even with the 5-4 record, still the betting favorite for the NL Cy Young, which is just awesome. Yeah, that's Tigers in the pros.
Presented by Rouse's, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Light day, Muse?
Yeah, extremely.
Well, go by Rouse's. Nothing light over there except your bill. How about that? Isn't that good? Yeah. No, give me a ding.
Oh, you wanted a ding? Yeah. Well, I think they both kind of.
Use the weekly ad for all. Go to the website, the app, Facebook. They always have their weekly ad, so you can see what specials they have cooking over there at Rouse's. I'm telling you, man, great time as well to get out, get on the grill. You want to build a better burger in your backyard, Rouse's can help you do it with all the meats and sides and fixings you need. Summer's here, y'all. Head for the grill. Rouse's can help you out there. Drinks for the kids, the adults, they got everything. Chips and dips and all the sides. And if you're making your groceries like your mom and them, get by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com, Rouse's. This feels like home. All right, y'all, Sports Center's coming up. Hey, when we come back, I do have a football topic. FPI has put out their projections for 2025, wins and playoff odds for LSU football. We'll tell you what it is next.
After further review.
Love telling you about First South Farm Credit. And today's the day. We're on Tuesdays. Obviously, we talk about Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. And most farmers know about First South Farm Credit because since 1916, First South Farm Credit has helped farmers buy land for agriculture. You need 1,000 acres for agriculture, they got you. And they've done that better than anyone since 1916. 2 world wars, the Great Depression, natural disasters, a new millennia. I mean, they've been through it all at First South Farm Credit. But at First South Farm Credit, they can also help you buy those 20 acres in St. Francisville to build your family's dream home. Maybe you live in New Orleans. Like, I hear this so much. People live in New Orleans. They want to move to the North Shore, so they want to buy the 20 acres in Tangipahoa Parish and then commute into New Orleans. Okay, you can have the best of both worlds. First South Farm Credit can help. They got an AMED office. FirstSouthLand.com. Check them out online at FirstSouthLand.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The Knicks fire head coach Tom Thibodeau after 5 seasons on the job. The Knicks made the Eastern Conference Finals this season for the first time in 25 years and were beaten by the Pacers in 6 games. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith.
I don't think this was fair to Tom Thibodeau at all. And I'm somebody that has been very critical of him in terms of his lack of use of his bench, not really prepping guys to really be able to contribute come playoff time, not going deep enough. But nevertheless, they won 51 games. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Stephen A. Smith on NBA Today. The NBA Finals start Thursday night with the Thunder hosting the Pacers in Game 1. Coverage on ESPN Radio and ABC. The reigning champion Panthers and the Oilers open the Stanley Cup Final with Game 1 tomorrow night in Edmonton. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Steelers are not expected to make a trade to get tight end Jonnu Smith. Smith would like to stay with the Dolphins. Adam also reports Patriots linebacker Jelani Tavai has a calf injury. He's expected to be out until training camp. He led the team in tackles last year.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. And now a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned straightforward ad. See if you could save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right. Woo!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You suck. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. We'll get back to some LSU baseball. Tigers live to play another day, facing elimination against Little Rock, down 5-1 in the second. LSU would storm back. Kaysen Evans, magnificent. A dozen strikeouts, threw up 5 consecutive zeros to allow the offense a chance to get back in. Ethan Fry, a 4-for-4 night, also walked twice at 4 RBI. Luis Hernandez popped a couple of homers. And LSU advances to take on West Virginia in the Super Regional this weekend out at the box. We'll start talking about that coming up here in just a smidge. But I wanted to step away quickly because there was a relevant football topic that I wanted to get into today. ESPN's FPI has released their projections for the 2025 college football season. And I think it's always important to note when we talk about this, because I don't want anybody to make too much out of one metric, that it's just a metric, like we talk about with PFF all the time. It's a metric. It's not the metric. It's just something to consider. But people can put out their subjective opinions, right? I can put out a top 25, a playoff projection. Any national analyst can do that as well. You can. We all can. We can make predictions. It just feels a little different when there feels like there's something objective, when it's data, when it's an algorithm, considering different inputs. That's why we consider things like, what does Vegas say? What do the odds makers say? What does PFF say? FPI is one of those as well. Bud Elliott every year puts out his blue chip ratio, which is something we talk about. Well, FPI has been one that people have leaned on in large part because it's ESPN, right? When you have the backing of the 4 letters, of course, people are going to give it more credence. What's so interesting, though, is in an expanded college football playoff, a reshaped postseason, it is so hard to project a lot of these things because the path to the championship is different now. It's no longer who are the top 2 teams of the top 4. 12 are going to get in. 12 can have a very different path. Oregon was your only undefeated team, and they had a bye and a brutal draw, and then they lose in the Rose Bowl to Ohio State. Ohio State was 10-2. In a 14 playoff, they wouldn't have even been in, and they go on and win the national championship. So it's harder than ever to project some of these things. And this is also now a new FPI because it's a predictive system. I'm reading directly from what it says here. It estimates their strengths in points per game relative to the national average on offense, defense, and special teams, and then it makes adjustments for starters lost, recruiting talent, and other personnel changes. That has never been more difficult to project than now because of the transfer portal. So, yes, you have starters lost. You could look at what you have, what production you've lost, what you return. You could look at recruiting. But it is so difficult to project something like you look at LSU, for example. Sage Ryan was a starter for you and among your leading tacklers. He's now at Ole Miss. Is there anyone who thinks LSU is worse off with TaMarcus Cooley and A.J. Halsey than with Sage Ryan and Major Burns? Pretty quiet in here. You get the point. So, I want to go through the FPI. So, this is the FPI ranking and their national playoff and national championship odds. I won't bury the lead. They've got LSU 12th in the country. FPI is LSU 12 with a 30% chance of making the playoff and just a 1.8% chance of winning the national championship. They have Texas at the top, followed by Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama number 4. Bro, they just... Computers love Alabama, man. Penn State 5, Oregon, Clemson, Miami, Notre Dame, Tennessee. That's your top 10. Then Texas A&M, LSU, Ole Miss. That's the top 13. Auburn is there at 14. Michigan 15. South Carolina 16. Oklahoma, SMU, Florida, Kansas State. That's your top 20. So just when you look at teams LSU plays, Alabama at 4, Clemson at 7, Texas A&M at 11, Ole Miss at 13, South Carolina at 16, Oklahoma at 17, Florida at 19. So seven of your 12 games are against teams in the FPI top 20. So naturally, FPI is going to look at you and go, that looks like a pretty tough schedule. Now, you might ask yourself, I wonder what FPI thought a year ago. in the first year of the 12-team playoff? You might have said, I wonder what FPI thought a year ago in the first year of the 12-team playoff.
I wonder what FPI thought a year ago in the first year of the 12-team playoff.
I'm glad you asked, Muse. That's why I like you, Muse. You're always on top of it. You're always thinking. They had Georgia preseason number 1. Probably not a giant surprise. They'd won back-to-back national championships and then kind of got screwed out of a playoff spot. They were undefeated, lost the SEC championship game, so got left out of a 14 playoff when they're probably the best team in the country all year. But they had Georgia 1. They had Oregon 2. Oregon had a really good year. Had Texas 3. Texas sneaked into the playoff, obviously. It didn't go well once they were there, but they got in. Ohio State 4, which won the national championship. Alabama 5. How did Alabama do last year?
They went 9-4.
9-4. Who they lose to?
Vanderbilt. They lost.
Vanderbilt was a 6-6 team, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that Vanderbilt. Yeah, they lost to Oklahoma.
Yeah, they were a 6-6 team too, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah, they were too. They also lost to Michigan in a bowl game.
And they were a 6-6 team too, weren't they?
They were. They were a 6-6 team.
The other one was Tennessee.
The other one was Tennessee.
Yeah. Okay, well, they had them 5 a year ago. Whiff there. Have them 4 this year, which they're going to whiff there because Bama's probably losing 4 games this year. I can't wait. I cannot wait to recycle Bama's burning because, like, it is so obvious if you are willing to remove the logo that is just a poop show. That's just, it's a dumpster fire. It's a hot burning mess, and we'll bring it back. Anyway, they had last year. They had Penn State, Notre Dame, just playoff teams. They had Oklahoma 8, by the way. Oklahoma finished 500. They had Tennessee 9, made the playoff. Missouri 10. Florida State 11. How did Florida State do last year?
They won 2 games.
Yeah, 2-10.
Yeah.
Maybe the worst season since they were an all-girls school. Michigan was 12. Michigan finished 500. Then LSU 13, A&M 14, Partridge in a Pear Tree, all that stuff. So, a couple things. I can't really get over when you look at what FPI projects for LSU. Project LSU at 7.9 wins. FPI is projecting LSU to go 8-4 this year. That, to me, is stunning. I'm going to continue to say it. And I think that is where, like, human knowledge of the team, the roster, is going to give you, me, us who follow this program, an advantage over the rest of the country who doesn't pay deep attention to LSU and the computers who don't know what to do with a team that has so many transfers. Say it again. LSU did this year what Ohio State and Ole Miss did a year ago. They went into the portal and bought the best roster in the country. That's what LSU did. They added 18 players via the portal. They got better at every level of their defense. They fortified the offensive line with 2 veteran starters. You had the leading returning passer in college football. You had dynamic weapons on the outside. You returned Caden Durham. Like, you had a top 5 high school signing class to the mix. You are going to be one of the 3 or 4 best rosters in all of college football this year. It would be a stunning disaster if LSU wins 7 or 8 games this year. I can't even wrap my brain around where this team would lose 5 games in the regular season. I could see LSU losing the opener to Clemson. You've lost 5 straight openers. I think Clemson's a good team. They got a veteran quarterback. That's a true road game at night, tough environment, all that stuff. I could see LSU, they were in the playoff a year ago. I could see LSU losing that game. Every other game on LSU's schedule this year, there is a spin to the positive for LSU. After you play Clemson, you get Louisiana Tech, then you get Florida at home. You play Southeastern before you got to go to Ole Miss. So you get an FCS school before you go play Ole Miss. You get Ole Miss early in the season when they lost their entire roster from last year. 7 guys at the NFL, including their quarterback, guys like Walter Nolan, Prince Umami Chris Paul. All those guys are gone. Trey Amos, they're all gone. You get an open date before South Carolina comes to Baton Rouge. You get 2 weeks to prepare for South Carolina coming in. You got to go to Vanderbilt. That's a layup. You had no problem with them last year. You won't have a problem with them this year. Then you get A&M coming in. Home game, you better believe LSU's going to be looking at chops for that one. Open date before you go to Bama. I think Bama's going to be a 4-loss team this year. Then you're home against Arkansas, Western Kentucky. You go to Oklahoma, which I don't even know if Brent Venables is going to be the coach by that point. They brought in the quarterback and offensive coordinator from Washington State. If that don't work, Brent Venables is going to get fired. He may not be the coach that game. We'll see. All that to say, looking at LSU at 7.9 wins is a stunning miss to me. There would be maybe nothing in this college football season that would surprise me more than an 8-4 LSU. They could go 9-3. We saw Ole Miss go 9-3 a year ago because of boneheaded decisions by their head coach. Gagging away a game against an awful Kentucky team that won one league game all year. Losing in overtime in Baton Rouge in a game where you didn't trail until the final score, when you had red zone opportunities and didn't take points, and then they did it 3 times against Florida. 3 times in the red zone, 3 times went forward on 4th down, 3 times got stopped, 3 times passed on points, and they lost the game. Any one of those goes their way, they're 10-2, they're in the playoff. I could see that happening as a floor. If LSU goes 8-4 this year, keep saying it. Hammer that over. Get it while you can. All right, it's after further review. After the show tonight, I'm actually heading over to Supper Club. Might see you there if you're going to be over at Supper Club. Really excited about it. My buddy Mac Chiwilli from over at Traction, my friends from Our Lady of the Lake, will be there tonight having dinner, a little client meeting. Very much looking forward to that. You know, it doesn't matter if you go to Supper Club for a client meeting like I am tonight, or you're looking for a place to celebrate a birthday, an anniversary, graduation. Supper Club checks the box for all of those things. Yeah, I remember the first time I sat down with Brandon, we talked about doing this partnership with AFR and Supper Club. You know, he said it this way, and it's so true. He said, a hot dog tastes better at a ballpark. A margarita tastes better at the beach. And a steak tastes better at Supper Club. Just true. And you got to go experience it if you've never been. I mean, people drive in from out of town just to come to Supper Club. Like, they'll make long weekends in Baton Rouge built around the opportunity to go to Supper Club. You can't miss it. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. I'll be there tonight. I mean, look, you're going to be in town for LSU football this fall. Get your reservations now for football weekends because they're going to book up. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com for your reservations. That's Supper Club. See y'all there tonight. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break, come back. I'll give you a first look at LSU and West Virginia. Listen, we're going to spend a lot of time this week building up to the Super Regional, but I'll give you a first look at the Tigers and the Mountaineers when we come back here on a Tuesday edition of AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
AFR.
100 degrees outside, y'all. Can't miss those River Cities 1-hour air vans. Matter of fact, I was driving on I-10 today, coming into the studio. Had to go run an errand. When I was on my way back, had one of those big vans right on side of me on I-10 while I was passing Bluebonnet. Bottom line is, if you have issues with your AC, call River Cities 1-hour air. They're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. They value your time. They value your money. And when they come to your house, they're going to do amazing work right the first time. Ernest LeBlanc sent this 5-star Google review. He said, Michael, technician, was on time, was very professional. He answered my questions, provided important insight that I need in making my decision. Very pleased. Another 5-star Google review. As a matter of fact, at River Cities 1-hour air, they've got more than double the amount of 5-star Google reviews of the next closest competitor because they're on time, fair price, they do great work, they have great people. It's River Cities 1-hour air. I trust them. You should as well. 752-0001, 752-0001.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Right before I take her home, she thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on.
Tigers and Mountaineers, we were so close to seeing this matchup a year ago in the Supers. Had LSU been able to hang on against North Carolina and advance, Tigers would have hosted the Super Regional round against West Virginia. Now, we will get to see it this year with the Mountaineers coming in for a Saturday, Sunday, Monday regional. If you haven't heard yet, I think by now most people probably have heard the schedule. And it doesn't always work out that way, but the NCAA, in conjunction with the TV partners, their number one priority is television matchups and to fill the television windows with the most appealing matchups throughout the 4 days. But if you end up playing into Monday, you would really prefer to have a Saturday, Sunday, Monday Super. And then similarly, you would also hope that it would shape out or play out for Omaha, that if you ended up playing Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that you'd end up playing the second day to start in Omaha as well. But it doesn't always work out that way, but this is working out for LSU, in particular because of the decision to throw Anthony Ianson. So you played on Monday, Ianson, which that was a glorified bullpen, 20 pitches. You're probably getting out there and doing that. Now, these are high intense pitches. They're, to live hitting as opposed to throwing in a bullpen, but you're getting lathered up, you're getting out there and you're throwing, which is part of the throwing program. So I don't worry about Ianson throwing 20. The one thing that might have been a smidge concerning is if he would have had to pitch Saturday. So then he would have had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off, and then thrown Saturday. In this case now, he's going to have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday off through Sunday. So he'll have a full 5 days after the 20-pitch outing, and his starts will go from from Friday, where, of course, he threw Friday of the regional to Sunday. So Anthony Ianson will be a full go, and that's awesome. Now, Cade Anderson will also be full rest because he'll go Saturday to Saturday in this instance. So the schedule works out. You're also going to play 1 o'clock on Saturday, 5 o'clock on Sunday. So knock on Formica, barring any inclement weather, and I have not even bothered, don't look at me, I've not even bothered to look ahead. I
have, but I'll keep my mouth shut.
Not even bothered to look ahead. Just going to assume it's all going to be well, and we're not going to have any sunshine delays this weekend, and that we're just going to play ball. The great sunshine storm of 2023 that delayed the Paul Skeens Super Regional against Kentucky. You hate to see when that happens, because I mean, sunshine can be dangerous. There's UV rays. You wear your sunscreen.
I was about to say they might have just been out of sunscreen.
You got to make sure you take care if you're going to go out there. And all that time in the sun. It was a player safety issue. Because They decided to play it at night instead of during the day when the dangerous, harmful sun rays were out.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind the fact that sun provides us with vitamin D, which is vital to our existence. It's the only vitamin we make. Did you know that, Muse?
I did know that, actually, yes. Yes. We've mentioned that on this show before.
I don't believe you.
We have. It was when Decision Critical was in.
Okay. Well, then in that instance, if you learned it here, then I believe you.
That's what I'm saying.
We're not going to look at the weather. We're just going to assume it's all going to go well. And LSU play 1 o'clock Saturday and 5 o'clock Sunday, and then they won't need a game on Monday. It'll be awesome. That's what we're hoping for. West Virginia is this is a really good draw, y'all. They're going to be a little different offensively in that this is not a team that is going to have a power surge in their offense. They've hit 55 homers all season. So this is not a team that's going to play for the big inning with the long ball. And as a matter of fact, their home run leader has 10 homers on the season. It's Kyle West. So just 55 homers on the year. Leading home run hitter has 10. A couple other guys have 8. So it's not one where you really fear the long ball. It's not to say it can't happen. I mean, it's Alec Box Stadium in June, and if the weather's warm and the wind's blowing out, yes, it becomes a hitter-friendly ballpark. But that's not how they play. The giant outlier for West Virginia is their stolen base numbers. They have stolen 108 bases on 141 attempts this season. I mean, when you just look at the contrast and style of LSU, after last night, I think I tabulated it, was at 97 homers. They went into the game yesterday with 93. They hit 4, so I'm not good at math, but I think that puts them at 97. They are at 97 homers. On the season, LSU has stolen 50 of 68 bases, of 68 attempts. So 50 stolen bases for LSU. West Virginia has stolen 108. So you basically have double the amount of home runs than they do. They have double the amount of steals that they do. They are a get them on, get them over, get them in team. LSU is a play for the big inning with the long ball type team. So contrasting styles. I will also say that I do think, despite his struggles offensively, it's why I want Michael Braswell in at third base. Because if you're going to play a team that offensively is going to try to put pressure on you, putting action on the base paths, and you're going to have to be sound defensively behind your pitchers, I want my best defensive lineup in the field, and that includes Braswell at third. Yes, undeniably, Tanner Reeves is going to give you more of an offensive threat than Braswell, but I want the better defender in the field behind Anderson and Ianson, because that is going to be your path in this series. Play great defense behind two dominant pitchers. Put your thumb on them. Don't let them score. And it doesn't matter if you don't have a gigantic weekend. Now, on the bump, they do have three starters. Griffin Kern is their Friday night guy. He's a lefty. So given that he's a lefty, by the way, that's another reason you'd expect to see Braswell at third, and probably Pearson start game one and right because of the lefty. They go with Pearson and right whenever, usually when they're facing a lefty. So Griffin Kern, the lefty, 95 innings pitched, 100 strikeouts and 95 innings pitched. He's got a 3.13 ERA. Their number 2 guy is Gavin Van Kempen, who, he has been lately. He's only got 39 innings on the season. And then their number 3 guy is Jack Kartsonis with a 2.94 ERA. That is actually tops among their starting pitchers. He's got 76 strikeouts in 64 1/3 innings pitched. But here's hoping it doesn't even get to that point if the Tigers are able to take care of business in the first 2 games. But Griffin Kern against Cade Anderson, you'll have 2 frontline lefty starters going head-to-head in that game 1 on Saturday at 1 o'clock at Alec Box Stadium. And see if the Tigers can get the bats going or keep the bats going. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. southpointvw.com. Hey, remember, if it's on the lot, it's online. So you're not just seeing stock factory photos when you go to the website. If you go to southpointvw.com, you either hit new or use the tab at the top. You'll see pictures of the actual vehicle that's there on the lot. So if you want to see what features it has, what colors they have, they've got it all at southpointvw.com. Great deals on the all-new ID4 as well. They've got a $1,500 loyalty bonus. It's a great time right now to buy over at South Point Volkswagen, to buy or lease. southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? It was a day that started off not so great, but a day that finished great, thanks in large part to the effort of Case and Evans. And Evans, after the game, talked about he related a pregame convo that he had with LSU pitching coach Nate Yeskie before the game against Little Rock on Monday.
That was the biggest thing going in the game. I had talked with Coach Yeskie before, and he's like, as long as you keep the ball down in the zone and you're able to throw your off speeds, then you're going to get batters out real easily. And I think what he said was true. When I got the ball down, then they got themselves out, and that's pretty much how the game went. When it was up, then they got a hit or it wasn't in the zone. So I think keeping the ball down in the zone really helped us out tonight.
Nate Yeskie met with reporters after the game as well, and naturally for all of us, seeing 9 consecutive strikeouts is something I don't think we've seen before, so some perspective from LSU's pitching coach.
Well, if you stick around and watch the game long enough, you'll see something you've never seen before. So for those that haven't seen it, Anderson was doing the chart next to me, and he goes, that's 6 in a row, that's 7 in a row, that's 8 in a row. And I said, yeah, I can count. I'm keeping my chart too. But, you know, it's nice, and I think that a guy like Anderson has really rubbed off on Evans because Evans loiters down in that other end of the dugout during games to try to get every advantage that he possibly can. And I think that you see that investment in just understanding the game better pays dividends in nights like tonight.
We talked about 3 really big decisions that Jay Johnson made in this game. Starting Zach Cowan, altering the lineup, and then obviously going to Anthony Ianson, which starting Cowan and going to Ianson out of the bullpen are things we talked about yesterday. You had to know those were possibilities, but still to pull the trigger takes a little bit of guts and conviction in what you're doing. Nate Yeskie talked about the decision to bring Anthony Ianson out of the bullpen.
I would say with Anthony, too, when you look at his history, I don't know that there was more than a handful of starts at his last stop. He's familiar with pitching out of the bullpen, and he manages and monitors himself extremely well. It's a very big league approach to what he does and what he knows he needs to do. I went down there to check on him just to kind of gauge where he was at. He didn't even need to say anything. As soon as he looked at me, I'm like, all right, we're good. And just out of curiosity, I kind of looked at him and goes, I got it, I'm ready. And one of the bullpen catchers looked over at me like, it's there tonight. So, and they fought him. They battled him a little bit, but boy, he was sharp there at the end, and certainly glad that he's a Tiger.
Strikeout, ground-out, strikeout to end it for Anthony Ianson. He was awesome. And when the first hitter he faced, he popped 95 and spun the breaking ball for a strike, okay, like he's got it. It's the one thing you worry about in a quick turnaround like that is will the velo be there? Because sometimes it takes a while to come back after a long outing. We throw 98 pitches. And then do you have command over the breaking ball? And both were there from the first batter, and it was very clear he was on, which was great to see. I will tell you that one thing that irked me is the ground ball, the RBI ground ball that Ianson gave up was a tailor-made ground ball double play. And LSU's defensive shifts, which if there's 2 things that LSU does that I disagree with, and you all know this, it's the commitment to the bunt and small ball is 1, and 2 is the defensive shifts. And I will admit to you readily, hand in air, that I may be guilty of this. It may just be confirmation bias. Like, we all do this. I do this. You do this. Paul, Muse, everyone in humanity does this. You have an idea about something. When you see something that confirms your idea, you go, ha, see? But we tend to ignore the thing that contradicts our idea. So I don't doubt at all that there's a lot of times throughout the course of a 55-game regular season for LSU this year where the defensive placement worked. But every time I see a guy shaded and that happens, it irks me. And the reason in large part is because I think you're a better baseball team than basically everybody you play. You've got enough talent. You've got range in your middle infield, guys that can get the balls. You've got range in the outfield. And that ground ball that Ianson gave up for the run to make it 7-6 in the 8th should have been a ground ball double play. But it's what it is. All's well that ends well. The Tigers exploded in the 9th. Bear hit the homer. Evans was awesome. Ianson was great. And the Tigers are moving on to take on West Virginia this weekend. Okay, it's after further review. Let me knock on a quick break. Tuesday show is powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana, sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. We'll knock on a quick break. If you got a question, comment, get it in, email us, tweet us, text the show, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways you can get involved in the show. If you want to do it now. Auto locks in about 15 minutes. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you bought a home that has a pool but needs a little TLC, needs a little upgrade, at Duplessis Builders, they do remodels as well. If your pool is dated, if it's aging, if it's starting to leak, if you want a different look, Duplessis Builders can help. As a matter of fact, that was our situation. The home that Erica and I bought that we live in now, 8-9 years ago that we bought, had a pool. But there was a water feature wall that was, the brick was split. All of the coping and the plaster had become very rigid. People were actually cutting their feet. Like it needed to be redone. Duplessis Builders can do that for you, or they could start the process from scratch. Listen, go see their showroom. You go see their showroom on Airline Highway in Prairieville, right next to Rouse's, corner of Airline and Duplessis Lane. You can pick out everything for your pool, the tiling, the coping, the stone, the plaster. They'll hold your hand to walk you through it, but it's your design. DuplessisBuilders.net. DuplessisBuilders.net.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
We talked earlier this hour about FPI, and ESPN's FPI has LSU at 7.9 wins, a 30% chance to make the college football playoff, just 1.8% to win the national championship. And I've said repeatedly this offseason that I think LSU this year is what Ohio State and Ole Miss were a year ago, teams that went all in the transfer portal, like all chips to the center to buy the best roster. Ohio State went 10-2, got hot, won the national championship. Ole Miss went 9-3, gagged it away, didn't make the playoff. I got a comment on the text line that said, yeah, but Ohio State already had an elite roster, added the finishing pieces through the portal. LSU's roster was mid. They had to completely overhaul everything because players quite literally weren't good enough in 2024. So there's parts of that are true and parts that quite literally aren't. With Ohio State a year ago, they added a freshman receiver that was outstanding in Smith, and they went into the portal and added pieces that bolstered spots where they were already very good. For example, Quinshon Judkins. Well, they already had Travion Henderson. They did not have a quarterback, which is paramount. Like, you have to have a quarterback. They went and got a veteran in Will Howard. If they don't add Will Howard, I mean, I don't know what they would have been at quarterback a year ago, but it would have been what they were and how they won a national championship. Adding Caleb Downs very clearly and obviously elevated their team with one of the best defensive players in college football. What I would say about LSU from year to year is, and by the way, on the blue chip ratio from last year, which of course are the teams that, by the percentage of 4- and 5-star recruits, have an opportunity to win the national championship, LSU had the 7th best roster in college football, according to the blue chip ratio a year ago. One spot behind Texas, one spot ahead of Clemson, two teams that made the college football playoff. And what you see on the blue chip ratio is a list of properly achieving, overachieving, and underachieving teams. So, like, Ohio State had the best roster last year with the transfers. Naturally, we talked about that. Alabama had the 2nd best roster. According to blue chip ratio, they lost 4 games. Georgia, Oregon, Texas were next. They all made the playoff. LSU was next, missed the playoff. Clemson made the playoff. Oklahoma was 6-6. Notre Dame was next, made the playoff. A&M missed the playoff. Florida was a 500 football team. Penn State was down at 57% of the blue chip ratio, made the playoff. Miami, USC, Michigan, Florida State was in the blue chip ratio. They went 2-10. So a lot of it is you're splitting hairs here with these elite rosters. It's who can bring everything together. And Ohio State did it in time to win the national championship and get hot in the playoff and win the national championship. But what I think sometimes we lose sight of with this LSU team and what you have coming back, remember, like, Whit Weeks was first team all SEC a year ago and should have been an All-American. He had more tackles last year than Devin White did in his Butkus Award-winning season. Harold Perkins, who I know it's been maligned here because of how it's transpired the last 2 years, but Perkins was the preseason SEC Defensive Player of the Year. You got 3 games out of it. Does it dramatically alter your season last year if Perkins is there? I don't know. Is he maybe a missing link that helps you defend Marcel Reed against A&M? Maybe. I don't know. But you look at Weeks coming back and Perkins coming off of injury and Jacobian Guillory coming off of injury and someone like Jordan Gilbert playing with actually 2 arms instead of 1 arm. You're returning Nuss, the leading returning passer in all of college football. You're returning your leading receiver in Aaron Anderson. You're returning your leading rusher in Caden Durham. There's a lot there. And then you go add the portal class you did. I mean, I know I'm preaching to the choir a little bit, but it's a bit of a misnomer to say LSU's roster was mid a year ago. I think defensively, very clearly, there were spots defensively where they did not have great talent in depth. Safety in particular was awful. It's the worst safety play I've seen from in consecutive years, 23 and 24. You've fixed that, and you've added talent at every level of your defense. So I don't know that I entirely agree with the premise that Ohio State was already elite or already great, and they added more. I think LSU's roster was already going to be on the blue chip ratio, and they added 18 players this year. So via the portal that make you better at every position that you added. I think the big question for LSU is going to be really just with so many new pieces, how quickly do they assimilate? How quickly can all this talent mesh together and play whole as one? And I don't know the answer to that. That'll be the fun part of watching a 12-game regular season play out. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Remember, you can email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Okay, good. I had asked Jimmy to do this, and he just got it to me. Jimmy gave me his projected point spreads for 4 LSU football games. I'll get to that in just a quick second. I do love telling you about my friends over at Our Lady of the Lake and the great partnership that we are embarking on. As a matter of fact, after we finish here, going to dinner over at Supper Club with some of my friends from Our Lady of the Lake, and really looking forward to that. Of course, Our Lady of the Lake is not only a partner of ours here on After Further Review, but they are the championship health partner of LSU Athletics. So the same doctors and physicians that treat the LSU athletes can treat you and your family. It's Our Lady of the Lake, part of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System, which it's been so impressive learning more. Obviously, I knew about the sisters, the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady that run the health system, but learning about this multi-state health system, of which Our Lady of the Lake is a part, but so many different hospitals and clinics and rehabilitation centers, all part of the mission of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady. It's been so impressive to learn more about and to be partnered with. And the bottom line is, when it comes to your health care, there's 2 things primarily that you want. We all want access, and we want convenience. And Our Lady of the Lake, they have clinics and providers all across the greater Baton Rouge area, from the Regional Medical Center on Essen Lane, the Children's Hospital, which I've told you plenty about my experience with Drew, taking him to specialists there for cardiology and pulmonology, neurology. I mean, we frequent the Children's Hospital, and what a great blessing and gift that is for our community. Also facilities in Ascension, Assumption, Livingston, North Baton Rouge. It's Our Lady of the Lake. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. Okay, so Jimmy sent me these 4 point spreads. These are projected point spreads. The one we have is Clemson, right? And we know Clemson is a 2.5-point favorite against LSU, which I have no problem with that. So Jimmy looking up point spread value, and I can ask him about this when he's here in a minute. He's got LSU 7.5 at home over Florida, LSU 5 at home over Texas A&M, and then has LSU a 2.5-point dog at Ole Miss and a 6.5-point dog at Bama. So you would look at LSU as an underdog against Clemson, Ole Miss, and Bama. So 3 true road games where LSU would be an underdog, and they'd be a favorite in every other game. So just there, you're at 9-3. If you lost those 3 road games, which I don't think they will, but just there you'd be 9-3. Makes 8-4 super hard to believe. It would be an epic failure if this team lost 4 games. All right, it's after further review. Let's knock out our final break of the show. Jimmy will be here. I'll ask him about those numbers, and we'll get tonight's Otter Locks. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, if you are thinking about selling your home, call Darren James and get your home sold. Darren James has more than 300 5-star Google reviews. It's not a surprise because Darren literally sells more homes than anyone. He's on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1% of realtors in America, number 1 realtor in Louisiana when it comes to volume, number of homes sold. And yours could be next. If you need to sell your home, you need Darren James. 335-7666. That's Darren's cell. 335-7666 or agent225.com. That's agent225.com. Darren guarantees he will sell your home. Remember, it's the guaranteed sale program. Agree to a price and a deadline. If Darren doesn't sell your home at that price by that deadline, he'll have your home bought with cash or he'll sell it for free. Learn more. Call Darren James today or log on to agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR. As always, we appreciate our friends at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. You want a tractor, you want a Deere, bunky and below, you're going to Sunshine, sunequip.com, sunequip.com. Check them out. Follow them on all the social media as well. Tons of cool NIL stuff in queue for this football season. All right, one thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, how are you?
Doing good, Matthew. I heard you talking about those lines for this football season. I could tell you this. LSU gets off to a good start. They could be easily favored at Ole Miss. So,
okay.
So I think that, but based on what LSU has done, I mean, not everybody's, it's kind of a show me point, as far as they have improved roster. Maybe it's Brian Kelly's best roster, since he's been here. So I'm bullish. I like the over on the win totals for LSU this year.
We talked about it, Otter, because FPI came out today and that LSU's wins at 7.9. If there's a reality where this team, with all the investment in the roster and the coaching staff, goes 8-4, it's just never going to happen under Brian Kelly. Like 8-4 with this roster would be a cataclysmic failure.
It's time.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, there's no other way to say it. Like, it's football. It can happen. It's the SEC. If it happens with this roster, with Nuss as a fifth year, all that stuff, it would be an epic failure. That's all. That's why I was curious in the numbers.
A good quarterback who's mature and been around, but also coming in that second year. It's a perfect storm as far as to have a really good season. So I'm with you. All right, let's get to the baseball.
Okay.
We got a 5-pack for you today.
Let's
Pittsburgh,
go.
Paul Skeens evening at PNC tonight, minus 162. So that is underway. He threw up a goose egg for the opponent in the first round. Colorado, 1 in a row. We're trying to make it 2. Speaking of former SEC pitchers, Dolander out of Tennessee, he has shown signs at this time he could be pretty good this year. So plus 154, and Miami doesn't need to be laying that against anybody. So those 2 games are underway, scoreless in both of them. We're going with the Yankees. The Guardians have been pretty good this year, but I think that's going to kind of calm down a little bit. I still think they're going to be right around 500 for the year. Tyler Bobby has been okay for Cleveland. Carlos Rodon has been lights out. I like that DraftKings and Bet Rivers allows you to buy minus 1 run. I don't like to lay that 1.5 at home for obvious reasons. You don't get that last at bat. A walk-off, unless it's a home run with a man on, is going to be a 1-run win. But minus 1 reduces the juice for us in this one. So that's something I like. Yankees minus 1 run. Again, you can get that at DraftKings in Bet Rivers. Angels got Mike Trout back. They hit 3 home runs in the first last night. How about a grand ball to third last night? Going to be a 5-4-3 around the horn double play. Nope. Bregman's out. They bobble it, and it led to a bunch of runs. This Bregman injury has really crushed them.
You hate to see it. You hate to see that. You hate to see that happen in Boston.
Angels plus
so bad.
120. My favorite pick tonight is one of those. Again, home teams laying 1 run. Atlanta minus 1 run. Strider, it's his 3rd start back. So he should be getting in. He made a big improvement from start 1 to start 2. Zach Gallen's been a very, very good pitcher. He's not this year. In last 21 in the 3rd innings pitched over his 4 starts, he's given up 19 earned runs, as many walks as strikeouts over that 4-game stretch. He has been getting hit and hit hard. That's my favorite pick tonight. The Braves minus 1 with Strider at home tonight against the Diamondbacks.
Where are you tomorrow?
We're at Modesto on Burbank near Nicholson.
Go get you a margarita, little quesadilla.
Yes.
Burrito. Yes. Queso. Fajita.
Dip trio.
Modesto's a great spot. Go see Otter and Handy tomorrow. Thank you, Otter.
All right, good luck.
All right, we'll see you. Hughes, Polly, thanks. See you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Getting on down the road. Remind you about Shawbill's Tire and Auto Service. ShawbillsTire.com. 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 They've been doing it since 1968. I say that because the reality is, if you opened a business in 1968, and here we are 57 years later, not only are you still open, but you continue to grow, and your owner was named the Modern Tire Dealer of the Year. National award. You're doing something right. And at Shawbill's, they do a lot of things right, but 2 of them primarily. Number 1, they're going to sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices. Tell you that every day. They're going to find a way with the manufacturer's offer, their in-house offer. They're going to find a way to get you the best price possible on the best tires on the road. That's number 1. Number 2, they treat you like family. And you have to go into Shawbill's to experience it and understand it, but when you do, you'll be loyal forever, like I am. ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbill's, where we keep you rolling.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wildin'.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that